you haven't got all the other cars revving up round you. But whatever he's learnt at Myra, he'll have to completely program that into his thinking and just repeat it exactly without any of the distractions. But whoever makes the best start here is going to have a big advantage, because it's such a long run down to that second corner hairpin, and everybody feels that if Giovanardi gets in front, he's a very hard man to overtake.
Absolutely right, and the Vauxhall have been very competitive here this weekend. Both of the Vauxhalls have qualified well. Giovanardi in second and Chilton in fourth position. This is how the grid looks then, with Darren Turner on pole position, his first ever pole with Seat Sport. Fabrizio Giovanardi alongside him on the front row for Vauxhall. On the second row, we've got the current points leader, that's Jason Plato, winner of 2 races at Brands Hatch, and alongside him, the second of the brand new Vauxhall Vectras with Tom Chilton at the wheel. Top independent on the grid is Owen Murray. This is a brilliant performance from the Irishman for Quest Racing in his Alfa Romeo 156, alongside his reigning champion Matt Neal. Behind them, we've got Tom Onslow Cole. He's the first of the rear-wheel drive BMWs on the grid. Watch for a fast start from him. Gordon Shedden lines up alongside in the second of the Team Halfords Hondas. Next up, it's one of the stars from Brands Hatch, Matt Jackson, another privateer running a BMW. Alongside him is Gareth Howell driving for Motorbase in one of the older Seat Toledos. His teammate Matt Allison lines up in 11th place, and Mike Jordan down in 12th place. He had a problem with the starter motor on his car yesterday, didn't do the whole of the qualifying session. Jason Hughes lines up in 13th place in his MG, and John George alongside in another of the Honda Integras. Behind those two, we've got another Alfa Romeo. It's David Pinkney, now chairman of Luton Football Club. Alongside him, Simon Blankley, another new boy to touring cars this year. Erkut Kazilimak, the Turkish driver, is next up. He's 17th. Martin Bell, the ever-enthusiastic Lincolnshire man, lines up in 18th place. 19th then on the grid is Chris Stockton. He's in the top Lexus, run by BTCC Racing, and he's got Fiona Leggett alongside. She'll be hoping for a clean start. She was involved in an accident at Brands Hatch, remember. Next up on the grid, 21st place for Richard Marsh. That's David Pinkney's teammate, another Alpha. Jim Pocklington alongside. And then behind them, we've got Nick Leeson and Rick Kerry, the diesel-powered BMW of Rick Kerry, lining up in 24th. And then Colin Turkington is at the back after that problem with scrutineering. Adam Jones, unfortunately, not able to start this race, blew an engine before qualifying yesterday.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Adam Jones. He's the leader, don't forget, of the Independence Trophy and starred at Brands, but he's a non-starter here after being as high as second in one of the free practices.
Well, let's see what happens. We've got the Seats and the Vauxhalls up front. We've got a Seat first and third, the Vauxhall second and fourth, and then that leading independent of Owen Murray.
And Turner's stalled. Turner's stalled. He's waving his arms. There's a yellow flag. We're going to have a delayed start.
Yep.
Turner has stalled the car on the grid and can't restart.
That is very, very unfortunate for the man starting from pole position. Darren Turner has stalled it, and that means he will have to start from the back. If you cause a delay to the start, you then have to go to the back. We're going to have 2 superstar front runners who will be starting from the back. But what's going on further back there? There's obviously some problems further back on one of the Alphas as well. We'll keep an eye on that. But Darren Turner, the pole sitter, in trouble before the race has even got underway. Well, that is a bit of a story, and we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. We know that he was a bit concerned about his starts, that he's been practicing them recently. He's developed a special technique, he reckoned, for getting off the line, but he hadn't even got to that point.
Well, it's a bit strange because we've got a 1-minute signal now, but Turner was being told he'll have to drop to the back and let everyone else pass. But he hadn't even got to the 5-second board, so he shouldn't have been into his start program at all. Normally these cars have quite a high tick over, and they tick over very well, but he shouldn't have been in gear. He shouldn't have been dragging the clutch. There was no reason at that stage for him to have stalled, and of course the car wouldn't restart if he had plenty of time to restart it, and it may well be even now that he can't start it. It looks, yeah, he's trying to start it, look, off and on with the ignition, switch everything off that doesn't need to be on, reset the fuses.
There's not much happening, is there? And I really feel for Darren Turner here.
No,
he's on the radio as well, back to the team, trying to ask, what do I try next?
That is pressing the starter button now.
Doesn't look like there's much happening though.
No, that's the fuse box on the floor, and that's the starter that he's pressing now. And he's not going to get it. Now, will he get a push from the marshals after they've gone past?
Well, that's the question. They may well be able to push start him, although these high-performance racing engines don't always like being push started. Sometimes there is a danger of them actually jumping on the cam belt, and you can do some damage to the engine. But of course, in this situation, you've got to try anything to get him into the race. So they'll take that gamble and hopefully try and give him a push. What it means now, of course, a couple of cars getting quite close to the back of him as they took off there. Effectively, that's given pole to Fabrizio Giovanardi in the Vauxhall.
Well, yeah, we're going to have Giovanardi against Plato, so it's going to be quite an interesting start.
Here we go. They're going to try and push start it, Tim. Let's see if they can get it running.
They're pushing it off. They're pushing it off the grid, I think.
Right. Yeah, he's not even trying to bump start it. So he's off to the grass on the inside there. And for the man who's won many races here around the outer oval at Rockingham, it's always been a pretty good track for him in the past. It got him pole position yesterday, but it's all gone wrong today.
He doesn't have much luck. I put him down before the start of the year as being the unluckiest man, and it clearly, the car won't start even with everything running normally, so there's not his fault, is it?
No, it's very strange. Some sort of major electrical problem there has occurred. We saw an electrical problem for Mike Jordan yesterday in qualifying, and now it's hit Darren Turner at the worst possible moment, just before he was due to start from pole position around this Rockingham circuit. Tim, let's just talk about the track a minute. You're racing the Porsche this weekend, but actually it's a track that's relatively new to you, isn't it? And to some of these guys, because it's only the second time that Touring Cars has been here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the last time was obviously 2003. Of the current drivers, Matt Neal won a race here that weekend. The other race was won by Ivan Muller. But I mean, a lot of the drivers haven't driven in the club racing formula, Formula Renault that have raced here and things like that. So a lot of drivers, we had the press day here, which was a reasonable test day, but most people haven't been around here. And it is a very different circuit, part oval, part infield, a very different driving technique.
Alan Gow there, boss of Touring Cars, first man to talk to Darren Turner. He'll be gutted for Darren. Certainly a very popular driver up and down pit lane. Everyone wants to see him go well. They know he's got huge potential, but everything just seems to be going wrong for him. Yeah,
and I don't want to tempt fate, but although they've pushed his car to the side of the thing, it's in a fairly dangerous place. We've had some starlight incidents here already this weekend, and I would hate for anything to happen to that car.
Now we've got one of the Alphas in trouble. Is that David Pinkney again? Because Pinkney had some troubles on the grid a moment ago. Owen Murray's got his car on the grid already, and problems there. So I'm not quite sure what's going on for them. Let's see what happened. Did the car just stop on him?
I've got a feeling maybe because he had a problem on the grid, he's elected to start at the back, and he's just letting everyone through. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I think that's quite likely. So new race distance of 15 laps now. So with that extra lap, because of the start being delayed, the race distance now has been reduced to 15 laps, and it's going to be Fabrizio Giovanardi who now has the top spot effectively, but Jason Plato on the inside has a clear run through the first banked turn number 1. We're at Rockingham Motor Speedway. We're all set for round 4 of the championship to get underway. We've lost the poleman, Darren Turner. Away we go, and it's a good start from both effective front row men now. Giovanardi gets away very, very well. Plato on the inside there, going to try and slot in behind him. Then it's Tom Chilton, and then it's Matt Neal pulling away. He got away pretty well in 4th position, but he's under attack from Tom Onslow Cole on the inside in the BMW. Up towards the hairpin for the first time. It's Giovanardi leading, Plato in second, Chilton, and then it's Matt Neal and Tom Onslow Cole side by side.
Yeah, Owen Murray was the one that really lost out on the start. He dropped back quite a long way on the start and then got done by Matt Jackson. Colin Turkington from the back got an absolutely rocket start and has flown through at least 8 cars already.
Yeah, fantastic.
Here he comes up the inside.
Keep an eye on Colin Turkington using that rear-wheel drive advantage. He's trying to muscle his way through. Good battles further back as well. If you look there in the middle of that pack, you saw Colin Turkington. He's made about 10 places already, I think, on this first lap. We'll have to count them when he comes around next time. That's his teammate Tom Onslow Cole. 2 BMWs racing hard. Matt Jackson's got it on the inside of him in the white and black car, the privateer. Tom Onslow Cole in his first season of Touring Cars, as is Matt Jackson. This is good hard racing, and Owen Murray, who was quicker than both of them in qualifying but made a poor start. He's in there in the Alpha. It's a Vauxhall leading, it's Fabrizio Giovanardi leading, then the yellow and silver Seat of Jason Plato in second place. The second of the Vauxhalls, that's Tom Chilton, then Matt Neal, and then this great fight that's going on. Tom Onslow Cole, Matt Jackson, Owen Murray's in there, and so is Gordon Shedden.
Yeah, so far clean at the front. Plato's in a Vauxhall sandwich. Giovanardi's got himself into that position we feared. If he got out in front, he is a hard man to pass. But Matt Jackson's the one making the moves in that privateer white BMW. Here he is again on the inside of Onslow Cole.
He's going to go for the inside into the hairpin. Let's see whether it's going to work for him. Onslow Cole gives him space. Jackson locks up a little bit. Oh, Onslow Cole's going to have contact there with Owen Murray. Another contact, and it allows Gordon Shedden to get alongside, and he may be able to take at least one. Oh, there's damage to Onslow Cole's BMW. Slowed down. Jordan nips through, bit of contact as well there between Jordan and the back, I think it was, of Shedden maybe, or maybe it was on. It's hard to work it all out with the orange cars in the middle there.
Yeah, that all happened because Matt Jackson went up the inside. In fact, Onslow Cole outbraked himself, and in trying to get back in the queue, got tapped by Owen Murray, and in fact got tapped again by Owen Murray, which straightened him out, which is probably a good thing. It's one of the things with the rear-wheel drive cars is when they get tapped sideways like that, they can't floor the throttle like a front-wheel drive car to bring it back into line. That's what caught out Turkington. But further back, we've got the motor-based cars, Gareth Howell and Matt Allison there in the white money centre car, really working their way up the grid.
Yeah, that's good to see. They're running in 11th, around 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th places at the moment. Mike Jordan just ahead of them in 9th position, and there are the leaders coming back out onto the banking on the outer oval here at Rockingham. It's Giovanardi with a good advantage at the moment over series leader Jason Plato in 2nd place, and then Tom Chilton, the youngster, in the 2nd of the works, Vauxhalls. He's running in a strong 3rd place. Little gap back to Matt Neal, the reigning champion. But then it's Matt Jackson in 5th place. Owen Murray is in 6th place in the rather battered Alfa Romeo. 7th position now is Gordon Shedden. 8th place for Mike Jordan. 9th for Gareth Howell. 10th place for Tom Onslow Cole. Colin Turkington is up to 13th position, having started in 25th. So he's made progress, but now it becomes a little bit more difficult. And the pressure for 2nd is definitely on. Oh, there goes one of those marker posts. Pressure for 2nd there. Jason Plato certainly being chased by this man, Tom Chilton.
Yeah, don't forget though that Jason Plato is carrying the maximum ballast. He had to carry it in qualifying and this first race as championship leader, so he's carrying 45 kilos. Chilton has a much lighter car.
Indeed, so Chilton may be able to take advantage of having the lighter car as with race progresses. Only 2 laps completed so far. Plato pretty good through the right-hander hairpin at Tarzan. They run along the back of the pits here. Shortish straight, and then they're into a fiddly little chicane section called Brook. This leads them back out onto the banking. Slightly different track to the one that was used the last time that the touring cars were here. On that occasion they joined the outer track a little earlier on, but Chilton not able to take advantage through that chicane, so he's not really close enough. Now they're heading along to the banking. They take this absolutely flat out, and Tim, that's not too difficult in these cars.
No, these cars are going through here flat at about 120 miles an hour, and down here just before the braking area about 130 miles an hour. I looked at some of the data, absolutely flat out, no lift at all on the throttle.
So Giovanardi making the most of that Vauxhall Vectra's power. The new car, remember, the Vauxhall team developing this car, building it over the winter, getting it out to Spain and testing it. It's got a bit more testing on it than some of the other new cars in the championship, and they had a pretty strong start to the season. Let's just see what happened a moment ago. This was Chris Stockton. I think he got a bit of a tap from somebody. Was that Simon Blankley on the inside? Martin Bell was a part of that as well.
Yeah, that's going into that final chicane, the bit we were just talking about. There's a real hard braking area, and you brake almost into the first left-hand part of it. But once you're in there, it's very difficult to go side by side, and those tyre bundles they've got positioned there are fairly big and heavy.
Different line from Tom Chilton, noticed there, as he went into the hairpin, a slightly tighter line, and a variety of different lines being chosen. But it's Giovanardi, the 7th times touring car champion. Now, that's a mixture of different titles as he's won all over the world, but it's this British title that he's never added to his CV. Yeah, Jason Plato has a very tight line just coming off that chicane, and he gains quite a few yards. Although he doesn't appear to have a good run speed-wise initially, it's a much shorter line taking that tight line. He gets a real good straight drive out of there. There's been a change further back. Mike Jordan's come up to 7th. He's got past Owen Murray, but you're on board with Colin Turkington. Now in 12th place and behind Matt Allison. Great view as he comes through the banking there at about 120 miles an hour. Oh, there's a bit of brake locking further up. You can see Jordan Murray going through, then Howell then Onslow Cole, and here we go, Turkington's got the inside line here. Good opportunity for Turkington, he nudges Allison out wide. Well, that's touring car tactics for you.
Well, that's how you do it. You put the other car on the grass just enough to lose traction, because otherwise Matt Allison would have had the inside for that next right-hander. But Turkington's an old stager, he knows what to do.
Yeah,
and look, he's actually caught his teammate up now.
Absolutely, this is a classy drive from Colin Turkington. He's had to muscle his way. A diesel BMW into the pits. Talked to Rick Kerry yesterday. They've had a few engine management problems with the car. They haven't managed to quite resolve them. Maybe that's causing them trouble, but it's great to have the diesel in this series. Obviously a bit of development work still to be done. Still a good race for second going on here between Jason Plato and Tom Chilton. No love lost between these two. They've traded a war of words in the past. They've had their incidents. There was a big incident between Plato and Chilton at Silverstone a while ago, and I don't think that's been forgotten, and both of them like to try and prove that they're the better. Tom Chilton at the moment, though, can't quite find a way past that Seat.
Yeah, not quite as much of an aerodynamic slipstream as you'd expect. You'd think through this long section there'd be a real toe, but it doesn't appear to give a lot big toe, but the vector is very quick, but Chilton just can't get out of that first chicane quick enough to catch up. He gets there under the braking at the end of the straight, but he isn't close enough at the start.
So Vauxhall's running first and third at the moment with the Seat in the middle. Then we've got the Honda, the Team Halfords Honda of Matt Neal. The first of the BMWs is Matt Jackson, the privateer, in 5th place. Then Gordon Shedden, second of the Team Halfords cars, followed by Mike Jordan in the John Guest Honda. Then it's Owen Murray, Gareth Howell and Tom Onslow Cole, with Colin Turkington up to 11th place. Remember, wherever you finish this race is where you qualify for race 2. And that's why Colin Turkington is desperate to try and make up a few more places in the remainder of this race. Still some way to go, though. I'm impressed to see how well Giovanardi's going. As you say, Tim, Plato is carrying ballast, so that's probably why he can't stay with the race leader. But nonetheless, this is a very promising performance for Vauxhall. I know they were chasing their tails a bit in the morning practice session here yesterday, but they've really got their act together in qualifying.
Yeah, they have. The whole field has closed up a bit. Dynamics were testing their little Civic as late as Friday afternoon at Myra. Their car's been on a shaker rig as well. They've done a lot of work away from the racetrack on it, and they came here very quick. In fact, Gordon Shedden actually set sector times in qualifying that should have put him on second on the grid. So they are quick. They've done a very good job, and you know, both Dynamics and Vauxhall are really putting it to Seat.
Well, it's great to see. That's what's lovely, is that we've got several cars going for it. Matt Jackson making a move on Matt Neal, or beginning to think about it. He didn't get alongside, but once again that white and black BMW, who started so well at Brands Hatch, he finished third twice. One of them he got excluded from, but he managed to hold on to his third place in the third race of the day, and he is no doubt a star of the future, this young man. We've seen him come through the ranks and always been impressed by him, but to see what he's doing with his own family-run team in a car that was formerly driven by World Touring Car champion Andy Priaulx, well, it's a bit of a revelation, to be honest, and good to see.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job. I spoke to the team yesterday evening, and they were a bit frustrated. They've been as high as second in one of the free practices, but in practice, in qualifying, he never quite hooked up the lap without traffic, and so he felt he could have gone quicker, and he's lapping very quickly at the moment at this stage of the race.
Yeah, he's running in 5th place, chasing Matt Neal, the reigning champion. Richard Marsh is out of the race, so problems for both of the Alfa Romeos. David Pinkney, his teammate, and of course we saw him starting from the back, although he's got up to 14th place as Pinkney. Jackson's got alongside. There's contact between Matt Neal and Matt Jackson, and Matt Neal won't be too impressed by that. Now, we always know that the old Integra was a strong car, Tim, but we haven't yet seen whether the new Honda Civic is able to withstand the same kind of treatment.
Yeah, well, that was fortunately a glancing blow rather than a blow with a lot of impact, but look at the drag race, he's drag on him, he's got, but Neal's defending. But that's another example, those two different lines coming out of that chicane, and Matt Neal took the wide line and Jackson took the inside. You watch this, Matt Neal swings to the right to get a good line, and Jackson sees an opportunity which suddenly gets closed up on him.
Yeah, a bit of an optimistic move, I would say. There's not a lot of space there. This is the onboard view from Matt Jackson's point of view. Just missed those internal barriers. Just remember that Matt Neal, running second in the championship, he's carrying a fair bit of ballast as well, isn't he? He's got 36 kilos on board, and it does look as though he's beginning to hold up a little group of cars. It includes his teammate Gordon Shedden and indeed Mike Jordan. who's effectively in one of Matt Neal's old cars. He's joined the back of that queue as well.
Yeah, well, Jordan is someone we really thought would fly around this circuit. He was very quick here at the press day, remember. The car is aerodynamically very good, so it's very quick round the fast section. It also looks after its tyres very well, and it's a circuit that works the tyres very hard. So we all thought he'd fly, and then when he had that problem in qualifying with the engine not being able to start, flat battery, starts motor problem, he never did a proper qualifying lap, but look at him go now.
No, he's flying along at the moment, as you say. He's running in 7th place in the white-blue car with the red door mirrors. Let's just take a look. This is something else. Erkut has been hit, has he, by John George. There was already some damage on the front of the car, yeah, and there was a little tap. Well held by Erkut, the Turkish driver. John George now getting to grips with this Integra a lot more. He's a lot happier than he was, but here's this battle once again for 4th position. Matt Neal just fending off Matt Jackson. Then it's Gordon Shedden in the second of the Halfords cars, and then it is Mike Jordan, who is looking very threatening at the back of this group. There's a gap behind them to Owen Murray, who's running 8th, Tom Onslow-Cole 9th, Gareth Howell 10th, and Turkington in 11th.
Yeah, as you say, Matt Jackson now really starting to put the pressure on. Matt Neal with the extra weight on the car pulls a good little chunk of time just through that section there. And now Shedden on the inside. It's almost as though Matt Jackson missed a gear, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was strange. He suddenly seemed to lose pace. Remember, he's using the H pattern gearbox, and Mike Jordan's got a run on him now. He's got a bit of a... He's feeling something. He wiggled the car there almost to clean the tyres up, I suppose, having run wide, which was quite a sensible move, but maybe a misgear. Something happened to Matt Jackson. He's lost the place to Gordon Shedden. So now Matt Neal 4th, Gordon Shedden in 5th place, and Matt Neal will be relieved about that because he probably won't have quite the same level of attack from his teammate as he had from Matt Jackson. Yeah, although Matt, I think, is starting to struggle with that weight on the car. Don't forget, this is a new car, and they need to learn how to balance the weight, the success ballast on it. And Shedden running a lot lighter and has been quicker in practice, so could potentially gain a place there. So that was the move by Gordon Shedden at Gracelands, the long left-hander, but there seemed to have been a mistake slightly before that by Matt Jackson. Whether it was just a missed gear change, difficult to tell. And now Mike Jordan closes up to the back of that BMW again. Remember, the BMW's rear-wheel drive. All of the other cars, apart from the Lexus in British Touring Cars, all the other cars are front-wheel drive. So you've got that contrast in the way the cars perform. On for Mike Jordan. As Matt Jackson kicked up the dirt there, Mike Jordan flicked his lights on as if to say, you keep on making little errors like that, I'm going to be through any moment. And Jordan now really looking aggressive as he closes up to the rear bumper of the BMW. This is going to be quite a tussle between a youngster new to touring cars and a veteran, it has to be said, not so much of touring cars, Mike Jordan, but a veteran of just about every class of racing in the UK. And he won a race last year, of course, at Mondello. Brilliant performance on that occasion, and he's running very, very solidly here. No doubt about our race leader, it's still Giovanardi, Plato 2nd, Chilton 3rd. Then the two Halfords cars, 4th and 5th. And there's the mood inside the Vauxhall camp. Are they going to take their first win of the season, the first win for the Vauxhall Vectra? Well, it's looking good at the moment for Fabrizio Giovanardi. It's more a question now of reliability than pace. They want to get that car all the way to the finish. And again, looking further back, you can see that Turkington's caught up to the back of his teammate Onslow-Cole once again. So the two orange BMWs, the two Team RAC cars, are absolutely together. Through the first turn they come. There are those two BMWs. Look, they're tucked in behind Owen Murray. Murray with a bit of damage to the car, probably not so quick in a straight line. Down the inside, there's contact between the cars. Onslow-Cole nips through, but Turkington is likely to do so as well. Good hard racing here. Now Murray's going to try and hold it.
The inside.
Meanwhile,
Fiona Leggett's just gone past the pits with a lot of smoke coming from the car. I hope that's not oil. I hope that's just tyre damage.
And Gareth Howell has come into the pits for some reason. So it's all happening here, isn't it? What happened to Chris Stockton? Oh, that was Fiona. No, she was sliding on her own oil there.
Yeah, well, that means we got oil down in the chicane, and then through the first corner. That could be very dangerous.
Yeah, and one of the barriers has been moved and recovered by the marshals. Fabrizio Giovanardi coming up to that area now, Tim. This is where there's oil down.
Yeah, and he's locked up, he's going straight on.
He's on the grass, the race leader's on the grass. Plato almost follows him, but gets back on, though he has got on the grass. The leader's in big trouble there, but Giovanardi's kept it together. Now, what's happened for second? Everybody in trouble. Plato's gone through there, Chilton in 3rd, then the two Halfords cars and everyone else. Murray's gone wide, and that's given an opportunity maybe for Turkington to get alongside, and it's chaos with the oil down in the chicane.
Yeah, I was worried about the first corner. They're going around the first corner and Chilton's going past. Chilton's going past for second.
Change for second place, Jason Plato under pressure from Tom Chilton, and in the background, I think he has managed to nip by. Meanwhile, this is Matt Jackson still trying to get past the Hondas, and in fact I think Shedden I think he's still there. Mike Jordan right in the battle with them as well. No, Matt Neal is there, so Shedden has managed to get past his teammate. Gordon Shedden has gone past Matt Neal. Matt Neal now defending, but this is the battle.
That's Chilton in front of Plato.
Yeah.
Plato had a moment on the oil at turn 1, nearly hit the wall, and Chilton was able to get through on the brakes into turn 2.
So Vauxhall are running 1 and 2 at the moment, and this is what they wanted from their new car. Quick here in testing. Brandt Hatch was reasonably good to them, but they didn't get a victory. Now Jason Plato, there he is, back in third place, and he'll be pretty sick about that, but it was the same oil for everyone. They all had to cope with it. Remember,
yeah, look at the tight line that they're taking into that corner now.
Yeah.
The oil flags are out. They weren't out, I don't think, the very first time that they came through and all scrambled across the inside. It's one of those incidents where the team manager needs to get on the radio straight away if he's watching the television pictures and say, oil down at turns 1 and wherever.
You could see very clearly the different lines taken by Chilton and Plato as they came onto the banking. Plato taking a much tighter line. This is when Chilton managed to get past Plato, Tim.
Yeah, Plato had a bit of a moment on the oil and Chilton just kept it nailed. Really brave, very brave to do that, and went through.
Yeah, so that was a good pass by Tom Chilton to go into second place and chase after his teammate Fabrizio Giovanardi. Giovanardi leads by 4.1 seconds over Chilton. Plato third. Shedden now, Gordon Shedden in fourth place. Teammate Matt Neal is behind him, and then Matt Jackson still applying the pressure. Just look in the background there. Yeah, it is Jackson and Jordan, the two J's, still very much together, but Jackson's struggling a bit with the back end of the car. Look to me, we're on board Colin Turkington. He's in ninth place behind his teammate Tom Onslow Cole.
Well, I think that what's happened is that Colin Turkington's taken too much out of his tyres in that charge to the front, because he got as far as his teammate and just couldn't get any further. I don't think he's got any tyres left.
Mike Jordan just up ahead, look up ahead, you can see Jordan trying to get alongside Matt Jackson. It still wasn't quite enough to get alongside him, and it's Giovanardi who leads with Chilton in second place. Look back at Plato in third with his lights on, and then look in the background, you can see it's still Jackson and Jordan, but now joining in again is Tom Onslow Cole, and then Turkington's there too. So this is all going to be a fierce fight as they all come down towards the chicane. Jordan just holding his position. Onslow Cole tucks in 8th place behind them, gets a bit sideways in front of his teammate Colin Turkington, and these guys are going to be fighting all the way to the flag, but the race leader coming along to start his final lap in a moment or two, and Giovanardi, 2 laps to go still at the moment. We're on lap 14 out of 15. Matt Jackson just holding on to 6th place from Mike Jordan, Tom Onslow Cole and Colin Turkington. Up towards the hairpin now. Is Jordan going to make a lunge for it down the inside? This could be the move from Mike Jordan. Matt Jackson goes wide, and there's contact between Jackson and Onslow Cole, and it spins Matt Jackson out.
Yeah, that was the classic. In fact, I think I heard Matt Jackson get on the throttle then, which you would do in a front-wheel drive car. But a tap like that puts the car suddenly at 45 degrees, you just can't save it in a rear-wheel drive car.
So Matt Jackson and Tom Onslow Cole, 2 BMWs, but rival BMWs getting together. Colin Turkington wants to get past his teammate here, but there are no team orders at stake, I'm sure. Onslow Cole a touch wide. This is great racing, and you can sit on board with Colin Turkington and see how close he gets.
And you could hear them on and off the throttle. Look at the oversteer that Onslow Cole's got. He's really struggling for grip. They were so on and off the throttle, but he's defending hard. He may have got some damage or even a puncture. No, maybe not, but very slow through that corner. Now that, yeah, he's definitely got a problem, I think, Onslow Cole. He's going to be hanging on for a last lap.
So Colin Turkington still can't get alongside him though. He still can't overtake up towards the chicane. They're coming, and Colin Turkington getting very frustrated here, and no doubt there's a little mistake there from Onslow Cole. This could well give the opportunity, but Turkington can't use his momentum effectively, so they actually come out of the corner much the same again.
Yeah, and of course Owen Murray's benefited from Matt Jackson's biff down at the hairpin, and he's gone through behind these two.
Yeah, so Owen Murray running in 9th place. Matt Jackson's down to 10th place now. Turkington might make a move down the inside. Is he going to break late? Yes, he is down the inside. The two teammates must not take each other off, but they've got to be careful, and what it might do is allow Owen Murray to reclaim the spot. Tom Onslow Cole still has the inside for the next right-hander. Should be safe there. The Alfa Romeo has to settle in behind.
Owen Murray being very polite there. He didn't let his car run out and put him on the dirt. He actually stayed away from any contact.
There is your race leader. We're on the final lap, and it's the experienced Italian Fabrizio Giovanardi, former World Touring Car Champion, European Touring Car Champion. He's won so many titles over the years, but he's never won the British Series. It's only his second year in the British Championship. Last year it was the Astra Sport Hatch he was racing. He had a couple of victories, but this year Vauxhall want to challenge for the title once again, and this is the way to really kickstart that challenge. He had a second place at Brands Hatch, but here at Rockingham, at the second meeting in round 4 of the championship, it's victory to Giovanardi, to Vauxhall. It's a 1-2 for Vauxhall, in fact. Chilton fends off Plato to the line there. 4th place goes to Gordon Shetton from his teammate Matt Neal. 5th goes to Mike Jordan, and then 5th to Matt Neal, 6th to Mike Jordan. 7th, I think, is going to be Tom. No, it isn't. It's Colin Turkington who takes 7th place. Tom Onslow Cole takes 8th, ahead of Owen Murray in 9th, and Matt Jackson in 10th. Well, that was a pretty dramatic race further down in the pack, but for Fabrizio Giovanardi it was very straightforward. Of course, it was fairly fortunate for him that the pole-sitting car of Darren Turner had a problem, but he took advantage of it.
Yeah, it may have been a boring race from his point, livened up really only by that drop of oil that forced him across the chicane, but certainly made easier by Darren Turner not getting past. But this is Urquhart on the last corner, just losing a place to Martin Bell. He'll be frustrated about that. But yeah, an easy race at the end of the day for Giovanardi. Showed good pace throughout the race, but what an exciting race behind. There was lots of action going on. Turkington a great drive from the back, but used his tyres up by halfway through. Shedden drove well to get past his team leader Matt Neal by the end, and there's the result.
Yep. So the result of the first race of the day, Giovanardi the winner from Tom Chilton, Plato in 3rd, Shedden in 4th, ahead of his teammate Matt Neal. Mike Jordan a strong 6th from Turkington in 7th from the very back of the grid, his teammate 8th, then Owen Murray in 9th, and Matt Jackson finished 10th.
Pit lane, I've got Fabrizio Giovanardi with me. Fabrizio, that was a beautiful race for you.
Yeah, I think so, because I had a really good start and the car was unbelievable good for all the races. We work a lot in this weekend to make the best setup for try to win, and we win. First, second thing is the great for the Vauxhall, for the team, for Triple Eight, for everybody.
Do you think it would have been the same if you'd have still had someone ahead of you on the grid at the start there?
Difficult to say. I don't know the problem that the other driver have. I have one.
Fabrizio, well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Tom, that's a great result for the team. I bet the only thing you'd have wanted more was the first place for yourself.
Yeah, a bit gutted. I'm second, not first, but I'm really happy for Vauxhall. You know, we're leading the manufacturers as it is, and after a 1-2, we're just edging away from Sit, which is great, and we got a good start. And that oil down there, I was lucky with the oil. Managed to get a really good run on Jason and overtake him, and you know, that's motor racing. These things happen.
No, it's interesting because it looked like Jason had the drive on you out of the chicane, which was odd for that car. I thought you'd have had the legs on him. But suddenly, after that oil incident, you were able to make the move.
Yeah, and I made the move. And yeah, right at the end of the checker flag, he did get quite a bit of a run on that last lap. You just touch your wheel on the oil. You can't actually see it. Like sometimes you can see oil, you can't see it there. And you just as soon as you hit it, that's it. You got no traction, no brakes, no steering. And we all went through the gravel.
Well, it was high drama, and that's perfect touring car racing. More of the same in race 2, you think?
Yeah, but without the oil. Next time, we'll make a few tweaks to the car, and hopefully we can do the same again.
Tom Chilton, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jason, what a weekend for your team. You've grafted through qualifying. Your teammate has a nightmare on the start. You pull away. How was it out there, especially with the ballast?
It was tough. I mean, yeah, a bit disappointing. You know, I got both myself, Fabrizio and Tom went off on the oil. No oil flags. Not really good enough, do you know what I mean? And there was so much smoke down here. My team said that someone's blown out. There's a good chance of oil in turn 1. So I eased off to you know, because there's a bigger picture here. You know, there's a long way to the end. There's no point throwing it in the wall. And of course Tom didn't, and he got the run and got second. But third is pretty good. You know, in fact, probably third is better than second in that we lose more weight going into the next race. And for sure, 45 kilos around here, the heaviest car on the grid is a disadvantage. So we get rid of some of the weight, and hopefully we can look on improving on third in the next one.
Well, do you think we're going to see 2 Seats out there next time? You're both going to get away?
I hope so.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you very much.
So series leader, and alongside him Gordon Shedden, showing some great pace this weekend in the Team Halford's car. His teammate, reigning champion Matt Neal, is next on the grid, and Mike Jordan, carrying no ballast, he was top independent in the first race, could be a threat here. But also behind them they've got Colin Turkington to worry about, also no ballast on board the fast starting BMW. His teammate Tom Onslow Cole starts alongside. Then it's Owen Murray, who was a bit out of luck in the first race with a slow start. He's got Matt Jackson next to him. Behind them we've got Matt Allison in the Motorbase Performance Seat Toledo, and Jason Hughes in the Kart World Racing MG. David Pinkney's hoping for better things in the ATEC Alfa Romeo. John George is alongside in the TH Motorsport Honda Integra. Martin Bell runs a 6-cylinder BMW, slightly older car than some of those up front. Erkut should be alongside him, but he's not out there, I'm afraid. They've got problems. Chris Stockton in the Lexus with his teammate Nick Leeson alongside on row number 9 of the grid. And then behind them, the diesel of Rick Kerry, and a new engine has gone into Simon Blankley's car. It expired on him just at the end of the previous race. Now, Gareth Howell looks to be starting from the pit lane, not from his grid place. Fiona's had an engine change for this race, so hopefully that'll all work out. Behind her, Richard Marsh and Jim Pocklington, another of the private BMWs there of Jim Pocklington, JT Motorsport. And then at the back, of course, we've got Darren Turner. He's got to come all the way from 25th. Still no Adam Jones. They're still waiting on an engine before they're able to take their place on the grid. So all the cars are out there now, just getting a bit of tyre temperature up. It's a little bit of an overcast day we've got here at Rockingham today. The sun has never really managed to break through, but nonetheless track temperatures are pretty much ideal, Tim. Good shape for all of the drivers and cars, but this place does put quite a premium on the front tyre, particularly that front right tyre, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, particularly around the banking and that long left-hand bend. The right front takes a lot of abuse, so the teams try and set the car up so it's quite slidey at the rear, quite oversteery, so that as the front tyres go off, they get more into a balance of the car. But if they start off with the car well balanced, they'll understeer like hell at the end of the race.
You're riding on board Colin Turkington as they judder their way out of the chicane. The racing cars don't like going slowly, do they?
No, you wouldn't want to drive these down to the shops.
It's not
But watch
easy.
out for that man Turkington on the 4th row on the inside. Watch his start. They're getting ready to push that car. He's obviously got no clutch, and they'll push it and he'll jam it in gear and roll away and rejoin after the cars go past.
So that's going to be tough for Gareth Howell, isn't it? But remember, we've also got Darren Turner coming from the back of the grid. All the cars are just about in position. We're just waiting for Darren Turner. I think he's in place at the back of the grid there. Last few cars into position. And we're getting all set now for round 5 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship here at Rockingham. Can the Vauxhalls make the break from the front row of the grid? Let's watch those lights go out. Giovanardi and Chilton both away well. Plato goes with them. Then it's Gordon Shedden. Good start from Turkington again. And Turkington goes past Matt Neal. And now Turkington in the BMW trying to go right round the outside of Gordon Shedden on the banking. And they're going to be side by side as they head down towards Dean Hairpin for the first time. But it's the Italian Giovanardi's made the start. Look at the battle behind. Down the inside, here comes Matt Neal trying to squeeze in a second. Turkington's going round the outside as well. And Matt Neal has pushed his way into second place, I think.
Brilliant manoeuvre by Matt Neal. Turkington got a great start but got forced to go around the outside and just couldn't get back in the train, and Matt Neal's out wide. Chilton's got back through.
And Turkington trying to get, he's on the grass. Turkington and Neal make contact there. Turkington had to get on the grass to try and, there's a big contact. Matt Neal and Colin Turkington. Big damage to those cars, and 2 of the favourites are out.
Well, that was a dramatic incident. That was the classic wheels touching wheels. It was Turkington's right front and Matt Neal's, his left front and Matt Neal's right rear just came into contact, flicked Turkington's car right up in the air and tore the wheel off Matt Neal's car.
Oh, that's bitterly disappointing. Matt Neal, a race winner last time out at Brands Hatch. Colin Turkington, front runner, had a couple of second places at Brands. They're both out of this race. The safety car is going to pick up the leader, Giovanardi and Chilton. They've got a big gap now over Onslow Cole running in 3rd, Jason Plato in 4th position, and it's all change up towards the front end because of that incident between Matt Neal and Colin Turkington. Don't know what happened to Mike Jordan on that lap. He's trailing around at the back as well, so a number of front runners in trouble.
Gordon Shedden, I can see limping right round to the back. He may not even make it back down. There's Shedden with damage to the front, so both the Dynamics cars, after fabulous starts, have been, look at the damage on that. They're going to have their work. It's hard enough to mend one car between race 2 and 3, but to mend 2, they're going to be hard pressed.
And Mike Jordan was limping around. I couldn't quite see where the damage on that car was, but he's going very slowly as well. That's a whole bunch of front-running cars gone out of this race. The Vauxhalls got away cleanly, but behind them it was all happening. Onslow, Cole, Plato, Jackson's up there. Matt Allison's got a big opportunity. But there is the reigning champion, Matt Neal. He's out of the race. He has one of the best finishing records of anybody in British touring cars, and he ain't happy about where they've attached that, because the car is dug in, and he does not want the car damaged when it's pulled out.
Well, there is a towing eye on the back, but Matt obviously wasn't happy with it being placed there. Purely, I think, because it's going to... Here we go on the start line. This is actually on board with Chilton. There goes Giovanardi in front. Chilton goes immediately to the inside to defend. He's got Matt Neal, Gordon Shedden and Turkington right behind him. He sticks on the inside. Now watch out for Matt Neal. Chilton's moved a little bit out to the middle. There's hardly looks like there's room, and suddenly from nowhere he's got Matt Neal on the inside. Turkington you saw a glimpse of on the outside. Through goes Matt Neal into second. A brilliant start. Now what goes wrong here, because Matt Neal has a problem here? Well, he gets a touch which pushes him wide, which allows Chilton and Turkington behind up the inside. Matt Neal then tries to close the door on Turkington, and the wheels are going to touch round this next bend just here and flip the car up in the air. Look at that, the tiniest touch, but at the worst possible moment.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate between them. They were sort of sorting themselves out, but it's actually ripped a wheel off, which is very unusual. But let's take another look. This was on board Colin Turkington in the BMW. Now, what a wonderful getaway with that rear-wheel drive.
But as you can see, he was forced to go around the outside, which works out initially very well here. Goes all the way around the outside, flat out, even on the first lap off a standing start. Then you'll watch to the inside. Turkington brakes very late and we're hoping to get it, but just has to run out wide. And Matt Neal and Chilton are right up the inside.
Well, it was all happening there, wasn't it? And then this was the view still on board as they came through the next right-hander. Little bit of contact there, Turkington and Chilton. And then this is where the big incident was coming up. Well, we don't see that. Martin Bell got into trouble as well, and that was smoke from his right rear tyre. He's one of the ones that's come into the pits since then. So is Nick Leeson. Mike Jordan's car is back in the pit garage. There's all sorts of repairs to be done here. There's Martin Bell's car. He's out of the car himself, and it doesn't look as though there's going to be much going on. Matt Neal trudging disconsolately back over the racetrack, but very, very disappointing for him.
Yeah, I think he's...
Now, I think Gordon Shedden's made it back into the pits, and Warren is with him, so let's see if we can catch up.
Yeah, I certainly am. Gordon, that was a melee. You were right in the middle of it. What did you see?
Very little. I mean, I was minding my own business, about to turn into the corner, and I mean, all of a sudden, Matt's about 4 foot off the ground next to me, and it's just ripped the side of my car open like a tin. You know, there's about 8 cars all trying to get the same bit of space, and it's just never going to happen. You know, people just don't know when they give up. It's a nightmare. So.
Now, I know in touring cars that a little bit of argy-bargy is quite accepted. Does this go beyond for you?
Yeah, but 8 into 1 has got no chance of going. You know, 2 into 1, perhaps you got half a chance, but that's just absolutely crazy.
And do you think we'll be seeing the car ready for the next race?
You know, I mean, I hope so. I've tried to get it back to give the guys as long as possible to look at it, but I really don't know what the damage is just now.
Okay, well, we hope so, Gordon. Thanks very much.
Gordon very disappointed. He was looking good in that race. He'd qualified on the second row, if you remember, and it's not going to be this time. And the Vauxhalls are looking in great shape, having got away and escaped really all the drama that was going on behind them. So Giovanardi leads from Tom Chilton and Tom Onslow Cole currently. Let's just continue looking back. No, this was Matt Neal. Who was he gesticulating to? One of the
Chilton.
Chilton, right.
It was Chilton. I mean, Chilton caused him to run wide initially when he tapped him into that half spin on the third corner, and that was what opened the door on the inside for Chilton and Turkington. I mean, to be fair, that, you know, it was probably a little bit aggressive, but it wasn't anything we haven't seen in touring cars before. But the contact between Turkington and Matt Neal, that was just one of those unfortunate things. It was just 2 cars touching in a difficult situation that ended up with a lot of damage. It wasn't anything malicious from either driver, you know,
it's funny, isn't it? 8 times out of 10 you'll have an incident where 2 cars touch like that and nothing really happens.
No, I think it's partly a problem we have with the Super 2000 spec cars, where the wheels stick out a long way from the bodywork and only covered by flimsy fiberglass wheel arches. And whereas on the old BTCC cars, the wheel arches were a bit more substantial. And we have seen it in the past, but certainly wheel-to-wheel contact on these cars is getting a bit more like single-seaters than anything else.
Here we go, here's another look at it. You can see they were rubbing door panels, but that's nothing unusual. But just look here as the two wheels connect, front and rear. Whoa, up in the air goes the BMW, slamming a kneel across into his teammate Shedden, which is what took Shedden out of the race. Now behind, oh look, the Alfa was up in the air and hit Jordan in the side. So that was a big old clout. I think that was Owen Murray, wasn't it, flying through the air?
Here's a reverse angle. Watch Owen Murray here. Oh, we don't see it, but I think what happened was everybody checked up with the incident happening in front, and there was inevitably a little bit of running into the back of each other.
Typical motorway kind of accident.
Yes, sort of thing that could happen to you in the Dartford Tunnel, as I found out a few weeks ago to my cost. But we won't talk about that. I mean, there are some beneficiaries of this. Amazingly, through all of that action, Plato came through without a mark on his car. Now, you'd expect him to be stuck in with it, but no, he got through with it clear. But we've got some reaction from Mike Jordan now.
Certainly do. Mike, now you were another unfortunate casualty of that massive incident.
Yeah, I mean, it was all bottling up at the previous right-hander, and I actually said to myself, just back away, and you could see that it was going to go wrong. Then I saw Colin's car and Matt's car going up in the air. I backed out of it, giving myself some space, and as I sort of went to the inside round the left-hander, somebody got me in the left rear. I think it was Murray's Alfa. And the frustrating thing is, it's all right getting dug in that, it all happens, but I could then look out my passenger window and hear an engine revving like hell, keeping pushing you till you're out the way. So I'll store that one away up here.
Well stored. Now, I asked Gordon Shedden the same question. In touring cars, a bit of argy-bargy is quite acceptable, but was this a bit much for you, that incident, or was it okay?
No, that was silly. I mean, it's, touring car racing is like this, isn't it? And that's one of those. I think if the roles had been reversed, I'd like to think I'd have actually just backed out of it and let the car head just get back in line. But hey, what goes round?
Mike, thanks for talking to us.
So Mike Jordan not too happy, but we're almost ready for this race to get underway again. The lights are out on the safety car, and that indicates we'll be going racing the next time they come across the line, and it's the Italian Giovanardi looking for 2 out of 2 here at Rockingham.
Yeah, and the other beneficiaries I was going to talk about, I mean, Gareth Howell, who started from the pit lane and was a mile behind all the action, was probably in the best possible place, because obviously there's a load of cars gone out of the race, at least 6 cars are out of the race. He's now running, you can see in the blue car there, in 11th place, and he's going to get a cracking restart, so it's worked out well for him. His teammate Matt Allison is up in 6th place as well, and Darren Turner, you just see him coming into view there, is in 9th.
The safety car is in. We've got the restart underway here, and it's Fabrizio Giovanardi leading a 1-2 for Vauxhall at the moment. Chilton in 2nd place, and it's Tom Onslow-Cole coming under a bit of pressure from Jason Plato for 3rd place. It's the Team RAC BMW versus the Seat for 3rd. Right behind them is the fast-starting Matt Jackson in the BMW as well, as they head down towards the hairpin at Dean, and the first 2 get through there neat and tidily. This time, everybody's giving each other a little bit of space through there, I would say. Jason Hughes is running in 7th place in the Kart World Racing MG, but he's got Darren Turner coming up on him. Remember, Turner originally started right at the back, but all this incident has helped him hugely as well. He's got a big opportunity to score points, and Turner getting alongside the MG couldn't quite complete the manoeuvre. Giovanardi and Chilton are beginning to pull away from the others.
Now Turner ducking to the inside, going to round the long left-hander. There's another apex coming up. Did he get through? Yes, he did.
Good move by Darren Turner, so that's gained him another position. Turner now will be hoping to move further into the top 10. But there's Jason Plato in the other Seat, the yellow and silver car, trying to move around the outside of the BMW of Onslow-Cole. Plato won't want to take too many risks. He hasn't raced wheel-to-wheel with Onslow-Cole much before, because of course Onslow-Cole is new to the championship. Plato leads the points, does not want to throw any points away, but he knows if he finishes top 3 consistently throughout the season and stays out of the kind of trouble that we've seen here today, he's got a great shot at taking his 2nd title, even though it's early days. Jason Plato's championship has started well, but Fabrizio Giovanardi looking good for Vauxhall, with Tom Chilton chasing him all the way. 120 miles an hour through the banking here, still picking up speed, 130, nearly 140 miles an hour, as they then get onto the brakes down at the hairpin, and you're riding on board 2nd place man Tom Chilton.
Yeah, Matt Jackson had a very good run on Plato there. Plato had to go super defensive. That was happening behind your onboard car of Chilton, but Plato still holds on to 4th place, but he's being challenged. Look at that, Matt Jackson all over the back of him.
Yeah, so Plato now, having tried to get past Onslow-Cole, now has his mirrors filled with another BMW, and actually I'm not sure he's going to see a lot out of his right-hand mirror anyway, because it looks as though that might have suffered a little bit of damage. Matt Jackson, we're riding on board the youngster who's made such a strong start to his touring car career, both at Brands Hatch and here at Rockingham, and he wants to try and get past a former champion and a man who's currently leading the points. Great corner, this left-hander. The cars are really working through there.
Yeah, it goes on forever, that corner, and you can't see the exit, so it's very tempting to chase the throttle in the middle of the corner and then find yourself running out wide over those rumble strips, which we've seen several cars do. Matt Allison trying to get up the inside now.
Yeah, Matt Allison also shadowing Matt Jackson. You've got two champions of different disciplines who've moved into touring cars here. The white and black BMW, just behind Plato there, being driven by Matt Jackson, who won the Seat Cupra Championship last year. But just behind him is Matt Allison, who won the GTC category of British GT racing in 2006. So they've both won titles in different categories of racing. They've both moved into the British Touring Car Championship. And I'm glad to say they're both showing very well against some very experienced opposition. Here comes Matt Jackson again on Jason Plato, and this time I think he might have the move made. He's on the inside, he's got the overlap, and Matt Jackson moves into 4th place.
Yeah, Plato didn't defend that time anything like as hard as he did the lap before. Maybe he just thought it was inevitable, and he was going to take the, you know, as you say, take championship points whenever possible.
Well, he's struggling a little bit. Remember, he's carrying some ballast here, 27 kilos. Talk us through it.
Well, no defence. You can see Plato's already conceded the inside and just let Matt Jackson go through. Sometimes it's worth defending a bit and hoping the car on the overtaking on the inside overshoots the corner, but a perfect overtake by Matt Jackson.
Don't forget that the results of this race, we take at least the top 6, maybe as many as 10 cars, and turn them back to front on the grid. So Plato actually is still in pretty good shape here, because if he stays roughly where he is, he's guaranteed of a fairly decent grid position. There's Darren Turner, though, still trying to make up places. Turner now up to 7th and attacking Matt Allison for 6th.
Yeah, and Darren Turner, the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, so he's now got into his stride. All the cars have got their tyre pressures up now. Tom Onzo-Cole, who struggled just on that restart.
Sorry, Tim,
that was cutting it a bit fine. You saw him move his wing mirror in there on Darren Turner's car, but he is flying.
Yeah, and indeed, Darren Turner got a real run out of that chicane and onto the banking, and he's attacking Allison, although Allison's still protecting that position through turn 1, the banked corner, and they head up towards the Dean hairpin. There is Allison protecting from Darren Turner, and David Pinkney in there as well. This is a more competitive showing, but look at this, side by side as they come through the hairpin, and Pinkney will try and take advantage of this. Can he get alongside Darren Turner? Well, Turner's got the inside for the right-hander at Yarwood.
Yeah, but Dave Pinkney doing a great job here. He said on the grid, didn't he, that he didn't expect much from his car this weekend. They had technical issues to sort out, presumably set up and stuff, but he's hanging on to these 3 really well.
Yeah, this is great racing. We're on board with Darren Turner with a camera that's picking up all the muck that's being thrown at him as cars ahead cut across the curves and flick up dust and bits of debris, and there's a few bits of debris around the track as a result of the incidents. Look at that, see the back end of Allison's car sliding all the way through the corner.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Remember, that's a front-wheel drive car, so that's just sheer momentum. That car's very well balanced, because if it's sliding a bit like that at the moment in the fast corners, that's just what you want, really, because, as I said earlier on, it'll go gradually into understeer as the front tyres wear out.
So our race leader is the man who won earlier. That's Fabrizio Giovanardi in the Vauxhall, Chilton second, Onslow-Cole in third in the first of the Team RAC cars, but we've lost the other one. That went out in an incident with Matt Neal. 4th place for Matt Jackson in the privateer BMW, and then he's under a little bit of pressure still from Darren Turner. Matt Allison, who's dropped back a fraction or 2 on that lap, so he's now got to work a little bit harder. He's still, actually, Turner's still behind Allison, so he's still protecting that position at the moment. This is the battle for second. Tom Chilton versus Tom Onslow-Cole. The 2 Toms, and Onslow-Cole, of course, in his first season of British Touring Cars. Chilton's somewhat more experienced.
Yeah, Tom Onslow-Cole, the quickest of the 3 at the front over that last lap, and he's really got on terms with Tom Chilton now and pulled away a bit from Matt Jackson.
I'm pretty impressed with Onslow-Cole. You know, he's come into touring cars. Oh, he's got a little chance there. He's come out of the Clio Championship and raced the single make series for a couple of years now, but now he's got a huge opportunity in touring cars and hasn't really put a wheel wrong as yet. He had a couple of incidents in the first race. I think they had a little chat with him, but nothing untoward.
No, driving very well, although that wasn't really an overtaking manoeuvre, and it cost him a big slide on his tyres. He needs to look after his tyres a bit more if it's a long race.
That's right, we've still got a little way to go in this race. Safety car's been out, so it's added 3 laps to the original race distance. We're now up to 19 laps of race distance, so we're only just over halfway and there's still plenty of running to go, and it's Chilton who's coming under a little more pressure now from the BMW just behind of Tom Onslow Cole, and you can see the rear-wheel drive BMW powering its way up the banking. It's not a particularly steep banking here at Rockingham, but nonetheless Onslow Cole trying to use it to his advantage. Further back, Darren Turner has got past Matt Allison, so Turner is now in 6th place, and I think we may see how that happened. Managed to get alongside, and that was fairly simple in the end.
Well, Matt Allison's been defending for 2 or 3 laps and clearly felt he was being compromised too much by doing that, and it left the door fairly wide open. But that's a problem on the next lap. Those are big bundles of tyres, and if you hit those, well, we've seen earlier, it can do a lot of damage to the car. So there's Rick Kelly negotiating his way around, but when you arrive there all at speed, fully crossed up, it may not be so easy to avoid them.
That's at the Brook chicane. That's the one that leads them back onto the banking. So we'll have a little look here. This is the view back from Tom Chilton. He's just managed to open that gap up again. This is the area where that, well, not quite yet. No, we've got a little bit further to go. We've got to go around the Tarzan hairpin yet. So he comes out of the long left-hander at Gracelands, now down to the hairpin at Tarzan. Bit of a brake-locking smoke there. No real problem for him. And then out of the corner, different lines chosen. Chilton really holds it quite tight out of that corner.
Yeah, well, they're approaching the chicane now. There's Jim Pocklin's car stuck on the inside. They're going through the chicane where the tyres are now. Have they got through it? Yes, they're very close indeed.
And it's worse if you're at the one behind. You don't get a clear view, do you?
No, you don't. I don't think there's a flag signal, is there, for a bundle of tyres on the track?
No, it's right. Drivers have got to react and work it out for themselves. Still a battle for second then. Tom Chilton and Tom Onslow Cole, 2 youngsters in the series, but Chilton, of course, has been in the championship for quite a few years. He was the youngest ever podium finisher in British touring cars when he was in his first season. So despite the fact that he's only 22 years old, Chilton here has got several years of experience of fending off fast cars from behind. Oh, and Gareth Howell, he started from the pit lane, he made great progress, but now his race is over.
That's a great shame. He's not having much luck this year, is Gareth. You know, he looks like he's going to pull off here. But he obviously had a clutch on. He's got his door slightly open, which is a bit strange. I'm not sure if he's got smoke in the car. They have had problems earlier this year with a bit of exhaust fumes in the car. Maybe he's not feeling very well, is he?
No,
I think he's got exhaust inhalation in the car and he's not feeling well. But they did have damage in that first race, and it can very often result in that. But clearly it's a form of carbon monoxide poisoning.
No, that's a bit worrying. So a nasty moment for Gareth Howell. He's sensibly got out of the car before having an accident, and hopefully the guys will look after him, maybe take him off to the medical centre and maybe give him some oxygen. Top 3 through. There's the battle that's going on for 4th place. It's Matt Jackson in that white and black BMW, fending off at the moment the car of points leader Jason Plato. So Plato down in 5th place and just trying to stay out of trouble. But he's going to keep the pressure on Matt Jackson. He's going to hope that Matt Jackson's tyres are not perhaps going to be holding up for the entire race distance. If Jackson is hard on the car, then of course the tyre wear becomes a bit more of an issue as we get into the latter stages of the race. Heavy braking here, and you see the Seat closes up a little bit, and that's understandable under braking. You would always expect that effect, and he gets pretty close on the exit as well. Jason Plato just keeping Matt Jackson aware that if he makes the slightest mistake, that Seat will be through.
Yeah, he's really pushing him hard, and as you say, it's enough distance to go. That Seat looking very strong on the brakes. This is an interesting battle between the 2 Toms here, because there are parts of the track where the BMW is better, particularly coming off the slow corners, and perhaps not there. It's an intriguing battle, isn't it? Because the Vauxhall's got prodigious straight line speed. We've seen that. And although the BMW can come off the tight corners with great traction, he can't quite get close enough in the key overtaking manoeuvres. So he's trying really hard around all the rest. Look at this.
Whoa, he had to correct mid-corner, didn't he? The back end started to break away. He had to correct it, and that ended up putting him on the grass. But he did well to sort it out, did Tom Onslow Cole.
Yeah, and look how quickly he's got straight back on the back of Chilton. So this is the section through all that twiddly bits where he's actually very good. He comes out tighter there using the rear-wheel drive to get the power down early, and it looks here like he's going to have a great run. In fact, Chilton's already defending going down towards turn 1.
But then the Vauxhall, as you say, is fast through this section, and it looks as though the BMW isn't quite able to pick up the slipstream, which you might expect. Look, the Vauxhall very fast there, and it maintains just enough gap that Onslow Cole isn't able to drop down the inside and try and take that place away. Onslow Cole, meanwhile, is driving a sensible race. He is in a good solid 3rd place, Team RAC desperately needs some points after the problems for Colin Turkington here today. So they will be advising him, if there is a chance, to get on the radio to say, well, have a go if you can, but do not take too many risks in gaining a place. Again, was that little bits of rubber or debris?
That's pickup on the tyres being thrown off when the tyre gets a bigger slip angle on it, but you can see big chunks of rubber being thrown off.
Yeah, interesting to see that. But this is the onboard view looking back from Chilton's car. He's running second. Again, they use a lot of road out of that corner. Again, Jackson under pressure from Plato. This is for 4th place. And it's Matt Jackson, the rookie, up against one of the most experienced campaigners in British touring cars, a former champion and a man who's desperate to win the title for a second time this year. That is Jason Plato, and Plato's going to try every pressurising technique he can, but again, I think, without taking too many risks. Plato knows he's in 5th place. He could end up on the front row for the 3rd race of the day if the reverse grid is only 6 cars, but even if it's as many as 10 cars, he's still going to be well placed on the grid to score points. And with Matt Neal out of the race, Colin Turkington out of the race, he could be in shape. John George battling here with Jason Hughes. This is for 9th place.
Yeah, they're both in a position to get a good top 10 result here, and of course who knows what can happen with the grid reversal. Anything between 6 and 10 cars finishing order here reversed for the grid for the final, so they're both in with a good chance.
Yeah, it's good to see John George going so well. A few years ago he ran an LPG powered car in British touring cars. It really wasn't a competitive proposition. He's also run other less competitive cars, but now he's bought one of these Honda Integras. This is in fact an ex-Gareth Howell car, I think, and it's a fast car. It's won the championship effectively the last few years, and he's enjoying himself, and he's in the points here.
Exactly, you can't buy a better car than that, can you? We've seen in privateer hands with Mike Jordan, that car's a potential winner, and this should be a good circuit for it anyway.
But he's got the Jason Hughes behind him, the Jason Hughes MG. Ever resourceful is Jason, and he's going to see if he can't get that bioethanol-powered MG up alongside the Honda. This is a fun little dice between these two, and this is what British touring cars certainly has this year. Lots of independents, top-class independents, people like John George and Jason Hughes, who are out there enjoying their racing, but racing hard as well. And these two battling over 9th place at the moment. Very different lines coming out of the Tarzan hairpin there. Complete contrasts, and yet they end up where they started.
Yeah, battling for position. But the trouble is, has George outbraked himself? Yes, he has. But very difficult to get through. Yeah, he's going to do it. Good driving, good clean driving.
That was clean, and well done to both guys for keeping it that way. But John George is going to be kicking himself. The man from Parr in Cornwall will be absolutely gutted to have made that little mistake. The pressurising did work there on that occasion, and John George did make the little mistake. That's the sort of thing Plato wants to see from Matt Jackson. But Matt Jackson's giving him no opportunities so far to slip through on the inside with the Seat. Matt Jackson here, advised by former touring car champion Chris Hodgetts, a former double champion who knows all the tricks in the book. Oh, again, Plato nearly getting alongside the BMW.
Yeah, Plato's doing everything he can, but not too much to just try and push Matt Jackson into a mistake. But don't forget, Matt Jackson's a veteran of one-make championships, and you don't make many mistakes when you've been winning races at that level.
Absolutely right, and last year he had an extremely successful season, taking that SEAT title. So I think, as you say, he's pretty used to being in this position and fending off fast cars. But Plato there again having another look. We are counting the laps off gradually. Oh, and this is a chance. Chilton a bit slow there, and Onslow Cole thought for a moment he might have a break, but it's so hard to overtake.
Yes, unless you have the degree of cooperation that we saw between Hughes and John George, you just can't get through there. And despite making a mistake in the chicane, Tom Onslow Cole just couldn't take advantage of Chilton's mistake.
A little bit of frustration then for Onslow Cole, but again, he's not made any silly mistakes. He hasn't thrown it away in his relentless pushing of Tom Chilton, and this is all allowing Giovanardi, of course, to have a fairly comfortable time of it up front. He's not had to battle with anybody in either race. He's made good starts in 2 races, unlike at Brands Hatch in race 3 when he started from pole. He's put that behind him, and the very experienced touring car champion Giovanardi is controlling things quite comfortably out in front. We're still on board second place man here, Tom Chilton. Right behind him is Tom Onslow Cole, and then you glance back and you can see that other race that's going on between Matt Jackson and Jason Plato. Good fun racing this. Again, it's nice to see the youngsters, Tom Onslow Cole, the Renault Clio champion of last year, dicing hard with Tom Chilton, and likewise Matt Jackson, the Seat Cupra champion, racing hard with Jason Plato. New blood in British touring cars, and showing great potential. But of course, we lost several of the front runners on that opening lap, most notably Matt Neal and Colin Turkington. Here's a chance for Tom Onslow Cole. He might have the inside line up towards the chicane. Is he going to hold on to it on the brakes? Yes, that's a great move by Onslow Cole. He's up into second place. Chilton back to third.
Good move. He's been trying to do that for a few laps. They have completely different lines out of the previous hairpin. Out of the previous hairpin, Chilton comes very tight, and Tom Onslow Cole was running wide, and he's been working to get that move to come off, and now it has. Fantastic.
This is such an impressive drive from Tom Onslow Cole. Only 19 years. Only his second ever meeting in a British touring car, and he's just got past Chilton, but now he's got a bit deep, and he might give Chilton the place back again. Oh, Tom Onslow Cole, but he's still got the inside. He's still got the inside for the next right-hander, and this all could get a bit exciting with Matt Jackson joining in the fun.
Yeah, well, that was good. Chilton didn't try and push him out onto the dirt, and he's actually got an overlap and got back inside.
Oh, Chilton runs that well. That was clever driving by Chilton. But Tom Onslow Cole did make the little error. Did slip up slightly there. Well, he is a rookie, and that's perhaps the evidence of it. He just thought he had it covered, and Chilton went for the late lunge down the inside.
Well, he had it covered, but it's not as easy to brake as late on the inside, because the camber falls away, and you just can't stop the car, and he actually outbraked himself.
Well, then Chilton was pushed back, but he got the place back. Look how the others have caught, including Plato and Turner. Remember, Turner did come from the back of the grid. He's been helped by the fact that there's been a lot of cars crashing out of this race as a result, particularly of that incident between Matt Neal and Colin Turkington on the opening lap. It also accounted for Gordon Shedden, for Mike Jordan as well. One or two other cars got caught up in it. But this is the race for second place. As they come around this time, they'll be going on to their final lap. And again, the battle for second is on. Tom Chilton in the Vauxhall with the orange Team RAC BMW absolutely alongside through the banking now, through turn one. And he's ideally positioned for the hairpin, so he should be able to take that second place. But here comes Matt Jackson. He's going to make it a three-way battle for second place. 3 into 1. Can it go? Jackson's very sensible. Onslow Cole on the inside, but Jackson might still get past the Vauxhall.
Well, Tom Onslow Cole did it perfectly that time. Don't leave the door open here.
Oh, nearly making contact. Again, they keep it tidy. Good racing. But Tom Onslow Cole is back into second place. And now he's really got his mirrors filled up with Matt Jackson. Then it's Plato and Darren Turner. It could still go wrong, but Onslow Cole's just made that little bit of a break. Here comes Plato again, pressurising Jackson. Still can't quite get alongside the BMW.
No, I think Tom Onslow's safe now. He's got through those two corners, got a little gap. Brilliant drive by him, fantastic. He'll be delighted with this. Don't make any more mistakes, Tom, and you're going to come home as a brilliant second place finisher.
Yeah, he goes very deep into the hairpin there, but he makes it through quite well, and right out wide, that's his line. Giovanardi is going to take a very comfortable victory. He's only got the final little chicane to go here, and then that will be 2 out of 2 for the Vauxhall Vectra of Fabrizio Giovanardi. It's been a completely untroubled race for him, but what a wonderful battle for second position it has been. Giovanardi takes the victory, but second place goes to Tom Onslow Cole. A fantastic race by the 19-year-old. Tom Chilton takes third, Matt Jackson finishes fourth, Jason Plato is fifth, and Darren Turner is sixth from the back. Well, great racing for that second and third places. Matt Allison crosses the line in 7th position. I think it's going to be David Pinkney who will take 8th place, so he'll be happy to be in the points this time. And Jason Hughes and John George will complete the top 10. But it's 2 out of 2 for Vauxhall, for Fabrizio Giovanardi. And Giovanardi's done exactly what Plato did last time out at Brands Hatch, and that was to win the first 2 races of the day. A huge boost for Fabrizio Giovanardi's championship hopes, and for Vauxhall's championship hopes as well. The manufacturer that was the dominant force in British touring cars for several seasons. They won the manufacturer's title on 5 occasions. Of course, Seat snatched the manufacturer's title in 2006, and Vauxhall want it back. Well, both cars have gone well here. Chilton pushed down to third in the end, but of course they've got both cars with podium finishes, and that's going to be very useful in terms of points. So Giovanardi wins round 5 from Tom Onslow Cole, a brilliant second, Chilton in third, Matt Jackson 4th ahead of Plato, and Darren Turner 6th from the back. Matt Allison took 7th ahead of Dave Pinkney, Jason Hughes was 9th, and John George in 10th.
Fabrizio Giovanardi, it's another great win there. You got out of all the trouble and just rode a very good race there.
Yeah, I think it was great for everybody, for the team, for Triple Eight, for Vauxhall, because the car was perfect today was perfect. In the qualifying, I really was not happy to have the pole position, but it's not important. It's important to gain point for the championship. I want to try to fight until the end, and with this car I can do it.
Well, a lot of people were saying that last year was your year to learn the British Championship. This year, you're really putting in some results.
Yeah, it's true. To be honest, last time I had some trouble in the beginning. No practice, no circuits for me, everything different. The fight was more tough, but I learned it quick, so it's okay now.
You're enjoying the fight now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Big fight, actually going.
Well, Tom, you had a pretty tough one there, didn't you?
That's why I love this place. It's exciting. I actually had a real adrenaline buzz there, and that reminds me why I do motor racing. I love it when it's close like that. Shame Tom got past me, but I was suffering quite a lot with traction out of the last corner, and it's a very long straight here on the banking, and yeah, it just had the edge there, but I'll be changing that for the next race, and if I was Vauxhall, I'd be very proud with that, because we had full ballast on and we got a first and a third out of it, so very good.
No, it's all very well done. And what was your view on that incident on the first lap?
First lap incident? Yeah. Refresh me.
That would have been going on totally behind you.
Oh, down there. Oh, when it was me and Matt and Turkington. Oh yeah, it was like 3 abreast, I think, going into the corner, and I was up the inside, just locked up a little bit. We all got sideways, and then I think Colin and Matt, I think, had a tangle and ended up going off on the exit there, which was a bit rubbish, because it's quite fun racing with Matt as well, but never mind. I feel sorry for him because he was doing well in the championship, but hopefully we'll get it all together for the next one.
Right, so now it's into the lottery for the final race.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Tom, what a great drive. You must be absolutely over the moon.
Oh, definitely sky higher at the moment. It wasn't expected, to be honest, from this weekend. After round one, I didn't feel overly confident, but we found a small problem with the car that we had running through the race, and we repaired that, and the car was flying. It was brilliant. Team RAC did a fantastic job.
It looks like you're taking to this championship quite well.
Yeah, I'm loving every second of it. It has been fantastic. Brands was an awesome weekend for me. It was my first weekend, one I'll never forget, and it just seems to be getting better at the moment.
So do you reckon you'll be coming back down to earth for the next race, or are you still going to be sky high by then?
I'm sure everyone around bring me down before we go back out, but I'll be pushing up there for another podium in the next one.
All right, thank you very much. Right, back up to the boys.
John pole position, and the MG of Jason Hughes alongside him. Behind them we've got David Pinkney in the Alfa Romeo, who reckons the car's pretty good for the first half of the race, but after that he may be struggling. Matt Allison's been going well all weekend. He starts in 4th place in the Motorbase car. On the 3rd row, the major threats, I would say, that are Darren Turner and Jason Plato, both driving of course for Seat Sport UK. Jason leads the points. Behind them we've got Matt Jackson, a superstar in his first season of touring cars. Alongside him, Tom Chilton, who finished 3rd in that second race. He's carrying a bit of ballast though still, plus 27 kilos. And then behind these two we've got Tom Onslow-Cole, who took his first ever podium finish earlier today. He's carrying 36 kilos, but the heavyweight is Fabrizio Giovanardi. He's on a full 45 kilos. Behind them we've got the diesel of Rick Kerry and the 6-cylinder BMW of Martin Bell. Then another 6-cylinder BMW, that's Jim Poplington, lining up next to Gareth Howell. He was almost asphyxiated in that last race, but I'm glad to say he's okay. Owen Murray and Nick Leeson line up on the next row of the grid, row number 8. Nick's a local man, he's got a bit of support from Rockingham here as well. And behind them we should have Mike Jordan, but he's missing from the grid at the moment. Gordon Shedden's car has been repaired from earlier. The 2 other cars that came together are repaired, Colin Turkington and Matt Neal, but the cars might not be in pristine condition. Behind them we've got Simon Blankley and Erkut Kiziliamak, the Turkish driver. They had a drive shaft problem in that second race. Behind them we should have Chris Stockton, but unfortunately he's not out there either. Fiona Leggett's on her own because the last row men, Richard Marsh and Adam Jones, unfortunately not able to take to the grid either. So we're missing a few after all the action here today, but we're still in for a great race for round 6 of the championship. Engines being fired up, so we're all set now, and big pressure on John George, Tim. He's never really had a situation like this. He's starting from pole.
No, but he's driving more and more confidently, and everyone likes their moment of fame, don't they? So he'll want to be trying to lead at least a lap or two, as will Jason Hughes and of course the irrepressible David Pinkney. But you've got to say, looking at the grid, this should be a cakewalk for Seat, because their cars are running very light. Darren Turner without any weight at all, and Jason Plato with only 9 kilos, and the first and second race form setters Giovanardi, Chilton, Tom Onslow-Cole, all heavily ballasted down behind them.
Well, lots to watch out for then as we get ready. There's the formation lap just getting underway. John George leads them away. Little good start from Matt Allison. I know they're all only practicing, and he sort of shot himself up past Jason Hughes.
Well, he's another one that went to Myra on Thursday and practiced his starts, as did Darren Turner. So we'll have to see what happens with him.
But Gareth Howell, his teammate, has not got off the line. He's having a terrible day. The car was hit by debris earlier on. They broke the exhaust and he was almost asphyxiated in race 2, and now the car won't move off the grid.
Well, he did have that clutch problem at the start of race 2 and had to start from the pit lane, and clearly he's still got some repetition of that, but they're not allowed to push start it. He's been pushed off the grid and won't take any further part.
Well, that's a very, very tough call for Gareth Howell. But, well, the rest of the cars have made it away cleanly from the grid. Thanks very much, Ted. Yeah, we're all set for some great action once again here. The third race of the day, and the cars are just on their formation lap except for this one, and that is Gareth Howell. He's had a miserable day, and now the car has not been able to leave on the formation lap. Oh, and Martin Bell. Well, he was telling me he was really up for the fight to get some points, but obviously something's gone wrong again for Martin Bell, so that we've lost 2 cars before the race has even started.
Well, it's been a very hard day's racing. We've seen lots of contact. We've seen miracles in the pit lane to get a lot of cars rebuilt, so perhaps not surprising a couple of people have pulled off, but desperately bad luck for Gareth Howell. And just to add insult to injury, the marshals forced him to put the steering wheel back on. I think he'd rather have thrown it in as far as he could have done.
In disgust, absolutely. Well, cars making their way around. Colin Turkington's car's been repaired from earlier on. He lines up in 19th place. We'll see if we can make touch with him. We've got the radio in the car. This is Ben in the commentary box to Colin. Colin, how are things feeling for you out there starting 19th? See if we're getting anything from Colin. Sounds like maybe a little bit busy. So maybe not the best time. They're just slowing down around the back part of the circuit, and now they'll be slowing it down just a little bit more. So we'll leave him to get ready, I think, and maybe pick him up again once more if there is a safety car period in this race. Now it's time to focus on the start, and he's actually even part of a fairly major number of cars who could do well. Gordon Shedden is in there, Colin Turkington himself, Matt Neal. They're all back on row 9 and 10 of the grid.
Well, Turkington made a blistering start in the first race when he was at the back, past 10 cars on the first lap. He's got no one directly in front of him because Mike Jordan's in the pit lane, so he could make another rocket ship start.
Let's see what happens then. We're all set for the last few cars still to come around out of the final chicane here at Rockingham. This combination course between the oval on the outside and then the twiddly infield section where we've seen plenty of accidents here today. Let's hope they can keep it clean. We've seen some good clean racing as well, particularly that battle for second in race 2 between Tom Onslow-Cole and Tom Chilton. We're set for the lights to come on. Mike Jordan's making it down to the end of the pit lane. He will start the race, but he will have to start from the end of the pit lane, I can tell you. Now focus on the lights, watch for the reds to come on. Remember, it's John George and Jason Hughes on the front row of the grid as the lights go out. Who's going to be away? Well, it's a good start from Jason Hughes in the MG, but Jason Plato making a very good getaway. He's moved straight into 4th place as they head towards the first corner. David Pinkney trying to go down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Look, it's free abreast as they head out of the banking, down towards the first hairpin. Pinkney on the inside, John George in the middle. Jason Plato's tucked in behind. Oh, there's contact! Plato's trying to stay out of trouble on the inside. Darren Turner goes round the outside. Well, you can almost see that one coming, Tim.
Yeah, blistering start by Plato, and he was in the right place to benefit from that contact as Giovanardi gets tapped wide. Has he broken his steering?
He may have done. The winner of the first 2 races of the day, Giovanardi, in trouble. His teammate Tom Chilton still there. He's battling his way up into 4th place. Oh, contact from John George with Tom Chilton, and Chilton's off, but he's recovered it brilliantly and he's back on the tarmac.
That was a fantastic save by Chilton. That's exactly what you can't do in a rear-wheel drive car. He just pulled it round.
Well, look at the banner that's attached to the front of Jason Hughes' car. That's going to make it overheat very quickly unless he's lucky and it falls off. Meanwhile, everybody trying to make up places, of course. Matt Allison is well up, so of course is Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson got away very well. He's in 2nd place, is Jackson in the BMW. Then it's Tom Onslow-Cole running in third place. Darren Turner is in fourth place, and John George then in fifth. So the pole man who really got mobbed, and then there was contact with David Pinkney down at the hairpin, but he's still in this race as Plato will lead the first lap from Matt Jackson in second position.
Yeah, Matt Jackson has a little bit of ballast on, as does Plato, but these two are well away now, and there could be a race between them. But perfect first lap for Plato. He so nearly got taken out on the start. If we see a replay of it, in actual fact, he squeezed between his teammate and Matt Allison and got a little touch as he went through, but he didn't want to lift off because he had such a good start.
Matt Allison makes a move on John George as we speak, and so does Tom Chilton. And Chilton, well, yeah, he's through neatly. He's got damage on the car, the rear bumper trailing away there, of course, and Giovanardi in the background did get going again after that initial incident. He's down in about 12th place. Matt Neal is running in 10th position, so Matt Neal in that hastily rebuilt car is actually the next car. Look, another bit of banner attached to the back of the reigning champions car.
Yeah, that won't, that's advertising they haven't paid for.
Absolutely.
Steve Neal will be onto them.
And right behind him is Giovanardi, who's going to pick it up on his car any second, I should think, if it comes off. Gordon Shedden's in there, so both Team Halford's cars are running sort of just in the top 10 or just outside it. Matt Allison here in the white and black car, but the race leader is Jason Plato in the yellow and silver Seat, the double winner at Brands Hatch at the opening event of the season. Points leader here this weekend, and he's got the advantage over Matt Jackson. Then the impressive rookie, Tom Onslow Cole, another impressive rookie, I should say, because of course Matt Jackson in similar situation. They're both in their second event of touring car racing, and Onslow Cole in third, but under quite a lot of pressure here from Darren Turner. Now Darren Turner, if you remember, was on pole position for the first race of the day, but the car did not start. He had to push it to the side of the track. He then had to try and come from the back in race 2, and now he's got a real opportunity of finishing on the podium. But to do that, he's got to get past this car, and he's going to have a look down the inside. He's down the inside. Can he make the move stick? I think he can. Side by side as they come through the corner, and Darren Turner now has the inside for Yarwood, the second right-hander. Little touch there between them, and he's into third.
Yeah, and simultaneously Chilton slipped past Matt Allison at the same corner for fifth.
Oh, Onslow Cole, cheeky, trying to get back up the inside again, but Darren Turner just had enough momentum to keep going, and that stays with the Seat in third and the Team RAC car in fourth place. Well, that could have ended in tears. Thankfully, it's clean. Behind them, with lights ablaze, it's still Tom Chilton chasing these two down. And we've seen how fast the Vauxhall has been here today, so I wonder if Chilton's now going to close the gap on these two.
Yeah, he's on a charge. He's obviously fired up from his success earlier in the day. He's the leading Vauxhall at the moment. Giovanardi's still languishing down in 11th place, but he's chasing Tom Onslow Cole now.
We're on board with Tom Chilton, so he's chasing, as you say, Tom Onslow Cole in the BMW. Tidy and neat through this little chicane. It's tricky through that one, and now out onto the banking, gets on the power hard, full throttle applied, and right up to the wall. As you can see, they like to run as close as possible, but there's not much chance of him closing that gap, I think. Sounds as though we've lost Colin Turkington from the race. Unfortunately, it looks as though he's out. He's had an absolutely miserable day. There's confirmation.
What a shame. Promised so much this weekend, but failed to deliver, as touring cars so often does. And when things are all turned around, it's that old stage of Plato out front. Here's him pulling off. He's running slowly, pulls to the inside, just gets no obvious sign of a problem, except for the car is not running.
Oh, well, everything's gone wrong for him here today. It really, really is miserable for him. Trying to explain to the pits what's gone wrong. Well, he's going to have to come back another day. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Owen Murray and John George there. They were rubbing door panels, and now look, Gordon Shedden's joining in. He flies past. He's already got past Matt Neal there. So the two Team Halford's cars are running very competitively, but Shedden now ahead of his teammate. Still that banner flapping from the rear wing of the Honda Civic.
Yes, it's not going to do him any good aerodynamically, is it? And it probably isn't that nice to follow either, actually. That's a good incentive to get past, but Matt Neal's sticking very close to his teammate.
Remember, Matt Neal's car's been hastily rebuilt by the guys. They've worked so hard today. After the contact with Colin Turkington in race 2, they have managed to get him back out. Now Gordon Shedden is going to try and make a move on John George. Oh, they can't quite do it. Look at the damage to John George's car. The side panel there, the door panel, really smashed in, but it doesn't seem to affect him too much. These guys back up onto the banking, and that was a better exit there for Gordon Shedden, and I think he's going to take the place. He takes 8th position from John George, and now Matt Neal's going to follow him through.
Well, you need spotters in the grandstands when they're doing this side-by-side action, a bit like they're doing NASCAR racing. But yeah, Shedden opened the door and Matt Neal followed him through. Poor old John George. He's fought a good fight at the front here. They've beaten him up, something chronic. The state of his car really has taken some punishment.
Owen Murray's also gone through there as well, and he's one to watch. He's got a very rapid Alfa Romeo, but he's been out of luck. Jason Hughes, who started on the front row, well, he's out of luck as well. He's driving into the pits. It may be a drive-through penalty for... Yeah, it is. It is a drive-through penalty for Jason Hughes, so that drops him way down the order. Yeah, it does. He's survived the first lap, but he's infringed the rules. Shedden putting a little bit of distance. Maybe Matt Neal's car not quite 100% after the hasty rebuild, but Shedden's been quick all weekend, but his car's had to be rebuilt as well. That's right. Remember, it got hit by Matt Neal in race 2. They haven't had much luck. Look at the race lead. Jason Plato's really opened a gap now over Matt Jackson in the white and black BMW. Then the other Seat in third. Fourth place for the Tom Onslow Cole car. And where's Jim going? Jim Pocklington, well, he's presumably pulled off. He did tell me he was having problems with the car cutting out, and I guess it's probably done so again. Yes, he's dumped it in the Seat and Clio car park, hasn't he? But as you say, Plato's stretching it away, a style we've seen so often. He gets out in front. We know he's got a quick car. He's got no ballast, very little ballast, and he should be plain sailing. But it's the guys chasing Tom Onslow Cole. It's Matt Allison and Tom Chilton. Oh, it's a mistake from Onslow Cole, and it's allowed Chilton to go through. Well, we said how well Onslow Cole had driven earlier on, but that definitely was his little mistake. Well, it's a sort of circuit. It's very hard with these heavy brakes. He's on his own. He's running way too hot. Just makes the corner. But when you're coming down that oval section, you can't actually see the corner. You can't see the curvature of the corner. It's just a hold on the left, effectively, a gap. So it's very easy to outbrake yourself. Well, that's what he's done. He withstood the pressure from Chilton earlier on in the second race, but this time a little mistake has allowed Chilton up into fourth position. And the Vauxhall could still be a threat, perhaps, for the Seat, if he can repeat the sort of pace we saw earlier today. But Giovanardi's a bit stuck. He's down in 7th place. There is Giovanardi. He was a race winner twice earlier today, but it just shows you how competitive it is at the moment. That car's now carrying maximum ballast, and from winning earlier, he's now finding it quite hard to move up through the ranks. Yes, he is. I mean, he's doing a good job. He may tell us after the race that his steering got deranged when he had that minor bang, and these cars quite sensitive to a little bang on the wheel to knock the tracking out, and that makes them very difficult to drive. Jason Plato's advantage, 2.1 seconds, 6 laps are completed. We're on to lap 7 out of 16, and it's Plato from Matt Jackson with Darren Turner in third, but Tom Chilton in 4th place with the Vauxhall and not that far behind, and hopefully he's going to plan an attack. Now, what's going on here? Onslow Cole and Matt Allison. This is for 5th place. The Team RAC car up against Matt Allison in the Motorbase Performance machine, and we're running on board with Tom Chilton. Once again, Chilton running in 4th position, trying to close that gap up to Darren Turner. Turner at last in for a decent result here, but Chilton's going to have to put a few laps together here, I think, to try and close this gap. It could be tricky. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Great shot of that long left-hander. You can see when we talk about how hard it is on the tyres, that's almost one continuous turn, working that right front tyre. You add in turn 1 on the banking and you realise how hard it is for these Dunlops to cope, and they do a fantastic job. Yeah, absolutely consistent. We've had no tyre problems at all this weekend. All the different makes of car running the same Dunlop tyre, but absolutely no problems at all. Race leader Plato pulling away from Jackson and Turner, and Chilton not really able to close the gap. Behind them is still good between Onslow Cole, Matt Allison, and now Giovanardi a little closer to the back of Matt Allison. Now here's caught up. Yeah, here's a test, isn't it? It is. Well, Matt Allison's been pretty quick on the speed traps actually, but we know the Vauxhall has a very strong engine. Matt Allison getting a very good exit there. We saw from the chicane, and at this point he's holding a good gap. But just watch how the Vauxhall seems to come on strong on the second part of the straight. After this corner, the top end seems to be really strong. Look, and now Matt has to defend. Yeah, down the inside, so Giovanardi takes the deeper, wider line into the corner. He's going to hope to cut back on the exit, but he's also got to be wary that in his mirrors are both Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal. Here's a chance for Giovanardi. Had to think about it, decides against actually going for the lunge down the inside of Allison. Remember, Allison much less experienced in touring cars, but Giovinazzi, oh, that was good. That was a good move, and in fact, Allison's going to lose out. He's been squeezed out of position, and once you've lost one position, you have to fight hard. He did. He came back again in front of Shedden.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting that move by Giovinazzi. That was really good. We've seen people trying to pull that off this weekend and not getting through with it, but to his credit, Matt falls straight back. He had his best result in the race too, and he fought back well there. And in fact, you could be standing in front of Matt Neal's car later in the year as a grid girl. They're running a competition, one of his sponsors, I think, Gotobet, you see on the windscreen there. You could be a grid girl for him if you want later in the year.
I don't particularly want to, but thanks for telling us about it, Tim. And as the rest of them head down, you can see they've still got this battle. It's 6th place now for Giovinazzi, 7th place for Gordon Shedden, who's ahead of Allison, and then behind him is the reigning champion Matt Neal. Now remember, Matt Neal won the 3rd race of the day at Brands Hatch, the first event for this new car, but I don't think he's going to repeat that kind of performance, and the safety car is on track. So we have a safety car situation, and that means everybody's going to have to stack up behind the safety car. Obviously there must be a car in a dangerous position.
No, I think it's just that Jason Plato's got too big a lead, actually. I think as we're at an oval track, Alan Gow's calling the debris on track safety car, close everything up just for a few more laps, and yeah, we've got a few more laps of excitement. Jason won't be too happy, but he's been there and seen it all before.
John George is in the pits, the man who started from pole position. He was part and party to quite a lot of action, particularly the first corner where it all went a bit haywire. We're looking back at some of that action. This was the lead. This was into the first corner. John George in the middle, David Pinkney on the inside, Jason Hughes on the outside.
Yeah, and just watch how it all unravels beautifully for Plato.
He was right on the inside, and they all shot off to the outside, and everyone who went to the outside had to try and pick their way round. It was amazing. It was almost synchronized spinning up front.
It was. This is on board with Chilton. He's no option but to stay out wide. He does great on the brakes. And now watch as Pinkney just taps the back of John George. They all go wide. It opens up quite nicely for Chilton as well.
He was lucky there though, wasn't he? Because John George's car could have been left stranded broadside, and then he would have been straight into the door. There was a bit of contact between Chilton and George. That's probably why George gave him a bit of a tap later on, actually. So that was a bit of returning the favour. This was the view from the rear-wheel drive BMW. Again, just look how fast it is.
Absolutely fantastic. And he went to the outside as everyone else drove to the inside. There he is passing one of the other BMWs and absolutely nailed. And he's immediately up with the leading bunch. I hope we can follow this through and see what happens at the first corner. Oh, do you see Giovinazzi down the inside there trying to break on the grass?
Amazing that these guys made it around. Look, almost straight into the side of David Pinkney. We had somebody off on the grass. Was that Hughes? Yeah, he was recovered there, and he had all 4 wheels well on the grass. Right, safety cars in. We're racing again here at Rockingham. Look at the restart from Plato. Well, he's experienced, and he's used every ounce of experience there, because he's already opened up 3 or 4 car lengths over Matt Jackson in 2nd place, Darren Turner in 3rd, but Tom Chilton could be the one to watch. He's running in 4th.
Onslow Cole's got a problem. Look, on your left of your screen, Onslow Cole with a tyre problem. He's pulled out of it completely, which has let Giovinazzi through. He's now just coming into a shot there. He's now behind Chilton.
Yeah, big move up the order for Giovinazzi, this is. And Onslow Cole with a puncture, we think, maybe as a result of contact with another car earlier or in that restart, but it's all over for Onslow Cole. And that's both of the Team RAC BMWs out of this race. It's Sayat leading the privateer BMW of Matt Jackson in 2nd place, Sayat in 3rd, Vauxhall in 4th and 5th. And those 2 Vauxhalls, you know, they were going so well.
Matt Neal up the inside of Shedden. Matt Neal on the inside of Shedden. He's been pushing him for a few laps. Easy to identify Matt Neal's car this race because of the extra advertising he's carrying. But good move up the inside there. But great restart from Plato. Pulled away really straight off the chicane, and Giovinazzi, as we'd expect, maximising the opportunity as well.
Safety car's been out, so we've added laps to the race distance. It's now going to be a 17-lap race, a little over. Look at this car, Owen Murray, crabbing his way to the next corner. Surely he's not going to try and go around it, is he? Well, he's
broken rear trailing arm there. You can see the right rear sticking out, giving him some rear steer. A bit more toe out than he'd ideally like.
Oh dear, it's gone wrong for the Dubliner again. He was so good in qualifying, but he hasn't been able to convert that qualifying effort into a race finish here today. Surely his luck will turn one day. But up front, it's Jason Plato with a 1 second lead over Matt Jackson. Then it's Darren Turner and Tom Chilton. A little lock-up on the brake for the Chilton with that bumper still trailing. Seems well attached on one side, even if it did get dislodged earlier. And here we are, riding on board Tom's car once again, tucked in behind Darren Turner, and seeing if he can use any little area of the track to gain an advantage on Darren Turner.
Well, Darren, he's certainly learned how to use the insides of the track, hasn't he, touring car style. It's a dangerous thing sometimes because you can nick the inside edge of the tyre or the wheel. It happened actually in qualifying with one of the cars, but he's floating his car quite nicely over the inside curbs, and that's one thing we've seen Seat is very good at.
It's a great chassis, isn't it, that Seat? It's very nimble around these tighter corners. It's certainly where they seem to have their advantage, but then as we've said, the Vauxhall's been very fast on the outer part of the track, out on the banking where you want good straight line speed. And there's no doubt that Darren Turner, he's got his lights on in that battle for third. He's with Tom Chilton and Giovanardi tucked in behind. And then, of course, reigning champion Matt Neal, who's now in 6th place. And he'll be looking to try and get past at least one of these Vauxhalls before the end. And there's a different line chosen by those two guys as they come up out of the chicane. Let's see what happened to Owen Murray. There was contact here somewhere with Mike Jordan. Mike Jordan went down the inside, and that, I think, was enough to break the rear suspension. Well, actually, those two had a bit of a coming together in race 2 earlier today, and they've had another one. Oh, and there's contact, Chilton and Turner, that's for third. Turner holds it, and he's still in 3rd place.
He is, he's fighting a real rear guard action now, isn't he? But which is only going to allow Jackson and Plato to get further away, but Chilton and Giovanardi really ganging up on Darren Turner now.
Well, it's Seat versus Vauxhall. These two manufacturers are the only manufacturers battling against each other for the manufacturer's title this year. Seat wrapped it up in 2006, but Vauxhall had dominated for 5 years before that, and Vauxhall wants it back again. So this is real rivalry between Seat and Vauxhall going on here. Turner at the moment holding on to third for Seat, but he's got the two Vauxhalls ganging up on him.
Yeah, and they're two completely... Oh, a lock-up, big lock-up there from Darren Turner. Big lock-up, but... Well, that is a brute of a car, that Vector, isn't it? It may not be the greatest looking car, but it's certainly effective.
Yeah, and it's fast, and it's Tom Chilton who's taking the challenge to Turner here with Giovanardi tucked in behind him, and then Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. Still a little way to go. The tyre wear having a factor, of course. They've got to look after those front tyres on these front-wheel drive cars. The white and black BMW up ahead of them. He's on a rear-wheel drive platform, so maybe makes life a little easier, but those cars tend to start sliding around a lot towards the end of the race as well. Behind those two Team Alfred's cars, by the way, it's still Matt Allison in 8th. Mike Jordan, who started from the pit lane, is up to 9th place now, ahead of Erkut, the Turkish driver. And again, a little bit of locking up going on. Matt Neal maybe with a little chance at an overlap, but Giovanardi will have the inside line for the right-hander coming up.
Yes, he will. Will he squeeze Matt wide? He doesn't. Just leaves him enough room. Covers the inside. Matt Neal won't be able to cut back, I don't think. Giovanardi's very late on the brakes in that corner. He knows as long as he gets into the corner first, he's okay.
This is allowing Shedden again to close up, because these two are slowing each other down a touch in their busy dicing. And then behind them, maybe also in with a shout of closing up again, Matt Allison and Mike Jordan, who's right on the back. Look at this, Matt Neal almost pushing Giovanardi through the left-hander at Gracelands down towards the hairpin at Tarzan. Now, Giovanardi's not going to leave the door open here, so Matt Neal's forced to go a bit wider, and Shedden goes even deeper into the corner, looking for the best exit. Jason Plato leads. There's your 2nd place white and black BMW, then Darren Turner in 3rd. Then the two Vauxhalls, and it's Giovanardi who's got to watch his mirrors this time, with Matt Neal looking for a way past. Not really very easy to do it at that chicane.
No, once again, watch the different lines coming out of this corner. Matt Neal much tighter on the inside, gets good initial drive, and he's closer than he's ever been now, so this will be a real drag race. I fancy Giovanardi's going to have to defend in turn 2.
Yeah, and this is giving us an indication how fast this new Honda Civic is in a straight line. They've done very little testing with it. The Vauxhall pass through there, though, again, he just eases out about another length or so. There's no doubt that Vauxhall has a strong engine, and it's a good shape as well. He brakes a bit deep, and that allows Matt Neal to close up again, but couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, then loses it a little bit on the exit. Just a little bit of ebb and flow, but behind these two, Mike Jordan and Matt Allison having a great race. And remember, there they are in the background. Mike Jordan started from the pit lane, so that safety car really helped him. He avoided all the carnage on the first couple of laps, closed up the gap with a few cars out the way in front of him, and then he's been picking them off.
Yeah, he has, but he's got quite a tough tussle ahead of him now for 9th place, because Matt Allison, there you are, it's Allison versus Mike Jordan here.
That's for 8th.
It's 8th place. Yeah, for 8th place now, that's right. So this is an important dice, some points on offer here. And it's also, of course, independents that they're looking at. Matt Jackson's the leading independent at the moment, but he's running in 2nd place. These guys are battling to be 2nd best independent in this race, and Matt Allison is still trying to defend from Mike Jordan. Jordan won't really be able to go around the outside there. Allison defends the place effectively, and they'll be out onto the banking once again, where Jordan will look for a good exit here and use that Honda's renowned engine to try and get alongside.
Renowned engine and very low drag as well. Nice shape, that Integra. That was one of its strengths last year. And look, he's very quick here. Well, Mike Jordan has plenty of experience on this oval.
Yeah, that's right. He's a racer from all different disciplines. He's raced in the Eurocars, he's won championships in all different disciplines, and here he is having a go around the outside. Well, that's pretty brave to try and hang on around the outside. He's not going to make it, I think. Nope, runs out of space in the end. But Mike Jordan's giving it everything he's got here, and now it's a late lunge down the inside. Oh, he caught Matt Allison out there, and he's through. So that puts Mike Jordan
I can hear somebody running on 3 cylinders, actually. I don't know if that is Matt Allison, but he's suddenly lost pace. I've got a funny feeling maybe it's him that's... Can you hear that? Just as their cars go past.
Yeah.
Somebody sounds like running on 3 cylinders.
Here was how it happened, and he wouldn't really have expected him to be close enough unless Allison had a little problem here, which is quite possible. Well, it was a good lunge by Mike Jordan down the inside, but as you say, there's certainly evidence that one of those cars could well have a damaged exhaust. Jason Plato comfortably in the lead here. Matt Jackson in 2nd. Look behind, you've still got Matt Neal pressurising for Fabrizio Giovanardi. Vauxhall versus Honda, and Matt Neal, who had that victory at Brands Hatch, he's having to fight a little harder for it this time. He's holding on to 6th place, but he's running out of laps as well. The race lead has now completed 15 out of the 17 laps. We're on to lap number 16, just under 2 laps to go, and they're all running out of time to make any further progress. Tom Chilton here, he's running in 4th place, has not been able to find a way past Darren Turner in the other Seat, and he's still got his own teammate to keep him honest. That's Giovanardi. As Chilton goes in a little deeper, we lose sight for a moment of Giovanardi and then see him again as he defends his place from those 2 Hondas. This is good hard racing at the top of the standings, but there's no doubt that Jason Plato's had a fairly easy time of it. He's not had to get himself involved in all this. He was very sensible at that first corner, taking it tight and avoiding the mayhem ahead of him, and he's driven an absolutely beautiful race ever since then, and it does look as though Seats are going to back up their 2 victories at Brands with another victory in race 3 here at Rockingham. Good pictures again, looking back at Giovanardi. See how he cuts the corner just a little bit. Not enough to upset the car, just enough to maintain the momentum.
Yeah, well, we've talked about how hard it is to pass Giovanardi. He just makes sure he gets the speed scrubbed off on the apex, so he makes sure he always gets a good exit.
So down towards the chicane, and the race leader will be going on to his final lap this time. Jason Plato just coming out of that chicane and coming across the start-finish line now. So onto the final lap goes Plato. There he is, and his advantage is pretty good. It's 3.9 seconds over Matt Jackson in 2nd place. But let's just mention Matt Jackson, the guy running in 2nd place. It's only his 2nd ever touring car meeting. He was on the podium last time out of Brands Hatch, but Matt Jackson has driven another brilliant race meeting, hasn't he, Tim?
Yeah, he really is. When he gets the car hooked up and stays out of trouble, which he tries to do because it is a privately run team, he really is quick, and he's shocked a lot of people, I think, so far in the first 2 meetings.
Yep, so Matt Jackson looks set for 2nd place. Is there going to be any change further back here? Giovanardi, 5th place for him, 6th place for Matt Neal, 7th for Gordon Shedden, 8th for Mike Jordan, 9th is Matt Allison, and Simon Blankley's going to get in the points as well. So well done to Simon Blankley. He's running in 10th place. It's only his 2nd ever touring car event, and he's certainly in good shape. But we're into the closing stages. Is anybody going to take a big gamble here? Matt Neal could be the man to try something. He can pull off some pretty audacious overtaking manoeuvres sometimes, but he's only got a couple of corners in which to do it. And he just can't. Oh, there's a contact there between Giovanardi and Matt Neal, and it lets Gordon Shedden come through. So Shedden takes advantage of that and nips past his teammate. Well, Matt Neal won't be pleased, but all part and parcel.
Well, Matt Neal didn't really need to rub with Giovanardi there. He was on the outside anyway, was never going to get through. But Plato is the winner.
Jason Plato wins race 3 here at Rockingham. Second goes to Matt Jackson, a brilliant result for the independent and privateer. Darren Turner takes 3rd place, Tom Chilton 4th. Giovanardi finishes in 5th ahead of Shedden. Neal drops back to 7th on that final lap. 8th place goes to Mike Jordan, then 9th place for Matt Allison, and 10th place for Simon Blankley. But it's Plato once again who takes a victory, and it was a good margin. Some 2.4 seconds the winning margin in the end, and he will further extend his points lead as a result of that. A great effort from Jason Plato. Well, Matt Jackson, 2nd place, 2.4 seconds behind, but it's his first ever 2nd position. He was 3rd at race 3 at Brands Hatch, and he's going to be featuring well up in the championship as a result of some good performances. Once again, he was 4th today. Earlier on in race number 2, he was a little bit out of luck in the first race, finished down in 10th position there, but he's certainly made a name for himself already, the 25-year-old from Henley in Arden. So we'll just have a see if we can talk to Colin Turkington, who of course went out of this race early on. This is Ben in the commentary box to Colin Turkington. Colin, I don't know if you can hear us down there. We were wondering what it was that went wrong with your car. No, sadly, I don't think he's hearing us. He looks pretty miserable, doesn't he? Don't blame him. He was well up in the championship coming into this race meeting, but sadly it's all gone a bit wrong for him this weekend. So, Jason Plato, the winner, from Matt Jackson in 2nd and Darren Turner in 3rd. 1st and 3rd for Seat Sport UK, ahead of their great rivals Vauxhall. VX Racing 4th and 5th, courtesy of Chilton and Giovanardi. Then the 2 Team Halfords cars, they're almost all in team formation this time. They were 6th and 7th. Then Mike Jordan in 8th, Matt Allison in 9th, and Simon Blankley in 10th place.
Well, if races 1 and 2 were intense, race 3 was absolutely incredible. Join us after the break when we'll be talking to the top 3. This time today we haven't seen you on the podium, but it looks like you were lucky to have survived that race.
Yeah, it's true, because I had a really fantastic start. At the exit of the first corner I was 3rd, and unfortunately my rims was against the rims of the BMW, and you know, I had a small hit and I went off. I was again 12 or I don't know which position. I say okay, again come. It was good, but the car unfortunately had some problem in towing, and it's okay to finish 5th, score more points.
And still good points. And do you think that the next round at Thruxton is going to be as crazy as it has been today?
I believe in Thruxton, because our car is really fast in the fast corner. In the top speed we are pretty good, so Thruxton is fast, we see.
Well done for Fabrizio.
Thank you.
Okay. Sticking with the Vauxhall theme, Tom Chilton. More chaos.
More chaos. I think we did very well, you know. We had lots of success ballast on the car, and we started at the back of the field, which is always tough. There's always a bit of mayhem in the first few laps. I think I took out a couple of Dunlop boards. Good sponsorship for them. I noticed Fiona Leggett actually had one on the front of hers when I looked in my mirror, but it's always a little bit crazy first couple of laps. You have to try and stay out of trouble, and unfortunately I got tangled up a bit, but yeah, we finished 4th and 5th, all right? We've had 2 podiums, and we got 4th and 5th at the end, and we start from the back of the back of the 10. So I think we've done very well, and we should go home here with a pat on our backs, and hopefully use what we've learned here to put it across the Thruxton, and a little bit more again, please.
No, it certainly proves that the team's working well. The car seems to be coming together. You guys have pulled together some very good points, but touring car racing is just unpredictable. How do you prepare for what's potentially going to happen? Because you can never know, but you always seem to come out well this weekend.
Yeah, we've had the luck on our sides this time, and hopefully we can have a bit more of that for the rest of the year, please. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Tom. Matt Neal, all the way from the back. An incredible performance. Did you think you could have got close to the podium?
At one point I did think, but those Vauxhalls have got a bit too much squirt for us down the straights at the minute. It's frustrating. We had a good solid result, me and Flash in race 1, and then the whole rest of the weekend sort of scuppered by one move in race 2. So from then on we were out of race 2 and we're fighting from the back in 3. So it was going to be tough from then on.
Must have been nice to come back with your car in one piece this time.
I was looking around for all the dents, because at one point it was kicking off everywhere in that third one, wasn't it? I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was bedlam. every corner there was a yellow flag at one point. Yeah, relieved for the guys. I mean, they've worked the socks off. You know, we've got a complete new rear end on my car and a complete new. One of the sides of Flash's is new after the second one, so it was all hands to the oars for a bit.
Well, it seemed to work out well. Just a quick aside for you. The safety car seemed like a slightly unusual choice to bring it out, perhaps. Did you think it was justified?
Oh, it was gow, isn't it? There was a paper cup rolling around somewhere in the pit lane, and or someone had dropped his hot dog up on the grandstand. So, to be honest, I didn't mind that because it pulled it all back up, and we could get involved in the scrap again. So, it's when you're out the front, it's frustrating.
Good work, and we'll see you again at Thruxton.
Cool. Cheers, mate.
Simon, how are you after that one?
Very warm, very hot, and very tired.
You want to take that hot suit off?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 3 layers on underneath.
Possibly a little more information than we needed.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, fantastic. Great result for us and the team. Changed the engine over after the first race. Wasn't sure whether we were going to get out for the second, wasn't sure whether we were going to get out for the third, but fantastic. They've done a great job.
And first time in the points. Is there going to be a bit of a celebration tonight?
I would think so. Probably last till about Thruxton, I would think. But yeah, definitely.
Back for more of the same at Thruxton?
Yeah, hope so. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks.